Ooh, what up, people? Hello, hello. What is going on? I am on my own tonight, which is a dangerous thing for Crystal and Ebony and Kathy to let happen. But things happen. Crystal is a teacher during the day, and she's got 3 kids of her own. So the little disease factories got to her again and have infected her. What up, Noman Garden? What's going on? What's going on? Happy to see everybody. So I had some fun news. Well, not fun, but some good news this week that I wanted to share with everybody, especially because I took some awesome pictures that I also want to share. So I think I've talked about it before, but so we have 3 cats. One of them is Luna. He's my old man. He's currently sleeping right there. He's 19 years old. And then we have 2 other cats, Lanfear and Luther. And Luther, actually, we discovered has hyperthyroidism. And we had him on medicine, and now we brought him back to the vet, and they did another blood test. And we got some great news back when he was at the vet. This was just this past couple of days, that he is doing well on the medicine. His numbers are back to normal. And this is him sleeping on my wife's desk, because this is what she does when she works from home. This is what she has laying next to her all day. And then there's his snaggle tooth. I love his snaggle teeth. So he's doing great. That's great. We got that news on Friday of last week that he's doing good. So he should be like, his numbers are in the normal range. His numbers are in the normal range now for his thyroid. So we don't have to worry about any nonsense with that, which is nice. Yeah, that's our Floof baby. We call him Sir Floofy Pants sometimes. I'm not sure why, but that's how his name is Luther, and then also Luthie Floofs and Floofy Pants and Sir Floofy Pants. He was knighted in the court of Floofy Pants. I don't know when, but at some point. But yeah, so that's been the good news. I also found a really cool book. Did I bring it up with me? No, I didn't bring it up with me, but I do have a picture. I found a original printing of Path of Daggers, which is cool. It has this really you can't really see it in this picture, but it has this cool like silvery inset on the inner page that has the Wheel of Time symbol, the 7-spoke wheel with the serpent biting its own tail along the edge there on the right hand side next to the cover. Simple cover, but it's still a cool find. I think it was like $2 at a local used bookstore, which was cool. And that's pretty much all that's been up with us this week. Just yeah. There's Crystal. Everyone say feel better, Crystal. Yeah. So that was a cool find. I got that, and the book underneath was From the Two Rivers, was another Wheel of Time book that I saw, and I picked that up because I like to pick up. At the very least, I always pick up the first 3 books and then any other cool ones that I see, because I always give the first 3 books away. So like if I ever see those at used bookstores, I pick them up. And then when I try to get people to read the series, when I recruit them to our cult, those are the books I give away to people. So I'm always giving those away. And the From the Two Rivers is a perfect one to give to a new friend that we just made. And we started playing D&D with. Her daughter is into like nerdy stuff too. So I'm going to give her the From the Two Rivers. We'll see if she likes it. But I'm not going to be alone completely for this stream. I'm going to be hanging out with a good friend of ours this is like quickly becoming a tradition that he joins for the first episode of a new show. So let's see who it is.
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Hey everybody.
What's up, man? It's so in your own words, it's a nerdy thing who talks about nerdy things.
Right.
That's the description on your YouTube channel, which I'll post a link to in chat in just a second, and you could find in the description of this video. But it's ReverseBLT. What up, man?
Oh, not too much. And real quick before I forget, hi Crystal out there. Sorry, not live for us to annoy I'm really looking forward to bugging you with our tangents today.
No, see now we are gonna bug her, except now. So I taught her last week that she has the ability to mute us. So like I showed her how to do she's been fancy. She's been a huge help. So she actually became like officially now an on-camera host with Dragon Mount. For like a while, she was just like filling in, and then she was like, I really enjoy doing this, and I was like, I like having you around. So we were like, let's have her. What up, Arosa? Let's have her fill in like permanently, and now she is a on-screen talent with Dragon Mount. So she's going to be here permanently now. But I showed her how to use like all the buttons and levers with what's the thing? StreamYard. And I taught her how to mute us, but now she can't mute us. So it's going to be even extra annoying for her because she can't mute us. She's not, she just has to sit there and watch us go off on tangents.
No longer has the power.
Nah, man. So why don't you give yourself a quick introduction?
I'll be partly muting myself because I have pizza today. So.
Okay. Yeah, I when I saw your pizza before, I got a little jealous. I was like, oh man, I want some cheese. I haven't had hot cheese in like a week. I need some.
This one is also incredibly good. That I don't know who I gotta remember this time of day apparently, because like whoever made this pizza. It's like you remember that scene from what was it the Antonio Banderas movie not El Mariachi, the other one, Desperado. Remember how he had to like,
I was gonna say, isn't there another one, Once Upon a Time in Mexico? Isn't that like the
I think that's supposed to be the conclusion, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But there's this whole bit about how like there's the villain, right, who has this thing about like if he orders a certain dish and the cook knocks it out of the park, he kills him, because it's like he has to basically restore balance to the universe, because no one should be able to make that dish that well. So literally, like if he, like I think that's how we get introduced to his character. Is he's sitting there eating the dish, and he's just like gushing to the waiter about how amazing it is. And he's like, "This is like the best one of these I've literally ever had in my whole life." And then he goes, "Oh man, what a shame!" And he gets up, he walks in the back into the kitchen. And it's like, hey, did you make that? And the guy's like, yeah, how'd you like it? It's like, it was amazing. And he just blows it, like he just shoots it like 4 times and walks out the back. It's like his whole weird ethos that he has. But yeah, it's like he would have to kill this pizza guy. He absolutely would. This is like, I haven't had a Pizza Hut pizza this good since I was a kid.
So okay, all right. So here's all right. Not to be a pizza snob, but now I like Pizza Hut. I like Domino's. Oh my God, my cat is so cute. I like Domino's. I like all that stuff. And I eat it, but like when I'm in the mood for Domino's or Pizza Hut or Little Caesars, I'm in the mood for Domino's, Pizza Hut, or Little Caesars, not pizza. If I'm in the mood for pizza, I go to like a pizza place. You know what I mean?
That is an incredibly fair and accurate statement. I agree.
Okay.
They are definitely their own very specific kind of pizza.
Yeah.
Each one of them, not even just as a category, like each one of them is their own very distinct thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They all taste very distinctly different. Like I could maybe Pizza Hut and Domino's are a little closer together, but I could definitely tell the difference there.
But yeah, if I want like if I'm sitting there thinking to myself like I want to feel like I'm in the Bronx or something, yeah, there's no Pizza Hut or Domino's or Papa John's or
there's very
that nonsense.
It's few and far between not in New York to get really good pizza like that. But I've found some here and there, and there's a couple of places nearby here, but I have to go to like 5 different places to get like, so like if I want Sicilian, there's one place I can order from. They don't do good regular pizza. They do good Sicilian though. And then if I want just regular pizza, another place. If I want like barbecue chicken pizza or something like that, like a specialty with tops on it, there's another place. And then none of those places do really good garlic knots. Like sometimes it's like bread puffs with like shitty olive oil or vegetable oil and like minced garlic from a can. But then there's some
half the time not even cooked all the way through.
Yeah, nah, man. That happens more often than not. And it's very frustrating. But outside of New York, it's tough to get good pizza, but you know, you could still find it. You could still find it. I've still yet to find a good bagel. That's the only thing I can't find.
See, I'm like, my best friend is from New York, and probably the one true point of contention in our friendship is the fact that my favorite kind of pizza is Chicago deep dish.
What? That's not pizza. Listen, that's not pizza. That's a pizza flavored casserole in a bread bowl. Okay.
No, I mean, can you see what type of pizza I got for Pizza Hut? I mean, it's the pan.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, I love pizza of pretty much all types, but yeah, I still remember the first time I ever had a Chicago deep dish pizza, and I was like, this right here, I didn't even know this was a thing, but I've been missing this my whole life.
there's our other New Yorker there, Arosa, being like, no. I'm channeling John
my best
Stewart
he loves
now.
me because he will actually take me to like Uno's or something for my birthday.
Okay.
And he'll sit there the whole time glaring at me like
you son of a
horrible psychopath.
Yeah. How are we friends?
But yeah.
Anyway, so you know, like I said, this is quickly becoming a tradition where we have you on for like the first episode of the new season.
I'm all for making it a true tradition. Why not?
I'm down, man. I'm
totally willing to be the guy who breaks the seal on every season of television.
It sounds like a good thing to me, and it fits perfectly with your show, which I will post in chat again because why not?
As I continue to stuff my face.
Yes. So you recently, I saw that you did 3 Body Problem. I have not watched that yet, but you did just before 3 Body Problem, the live action Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're going to be watching the animated series today, but what did you think of the live action?
There were some things I would have done differently, as is often the case when we're dealing with adapting something that I am very familiar with. But by and large, I think they did a really good job. Really good job.
I agree.
I think the weakest elements were just pretty much common to almost all the shows nowadays, just not having enough episodes.
Yeah.
I think they needed at least 2 more.
I don't know what it is about them and doing like these short seasons, 6 and 8 episodes. Like, I don't understand like there must be, I wonder if there's like an amount of time a show is on or an actor is on screen for a show that grants them something through the union, and like the shows are avoiding it by only doing 8 episodes or some nonsense like that. Because it's just so weird that so many different, like Netflix does it, Amazon does it. Like they all do these short 8 episode seasons for these big shows like this, and I just don't understand.
I know there used to be. I don't know what the current rules are. And I might shoot a message over to why am I blanking on his name right now? Husband and wife team. They also do
Ali and Gus,
but no, not Ali and Gus.
Nerdy Nightly.
Yes. Nerdy Nightly. They're both in the industry, if I remember correctly.
So are Ali and Gus, which is why I thought of them first.
But I know that it used to be that there was an episode count that got you billing as
main character or something.
Yeah, it's like why am I blanking on the terms? Yeah, like basically starring actor in the series. So like you would actually be in the credits, featured in the credits if you had above a certain percentage, I think it's a percentage. So it doesn't really matter if they have a short episode run. There's a certain number of lines you have to have to make a certain amount in the scale that they have.
Just so frustrating.
But everybody on the show is making it.
Oh yeah. And most of the people, like most of the actors are in it or are in the credits and stuff already. But like it's just so frustrating that they do it that way. And obviously the audience wants more. Like, I just don't understand why, like a lot of these shows would benefit with one more episode or even 20-minute longer episodes. Like
I think 10 episodes is the sweet spot. I think that's the actual sweet spot.
Even if they stick with 8 episodes, say, make them 20 minutes longer.
Yeah,
10 minutes longer.
There's definitely room for that. I think that what's going on, because it's not just the episode count, it's also the total number of minutes. I think what it is that they crunched the numbers of and figured out the average viewing session. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to somehow make it so that more than a certain percentage of the audience watches the entire freaking thing start to finish all at once. That's what they're trying to do.
I hate that.
And it's insane. It is utterly insane.
Yeah,
you know, like one thing.
No, you finish. You finish.
What I was going to say is that like one of the things that I noticed as a complaint was people saying that a lot of things felt like they were happening too quickly, which yes, to some degree that's just because of the compression of putting it into 8 episodes. But it's not just that. One of the things I've been realizing a lot with streaming as they've been shortening their seasons is that we old people. We remember we remember having to wait at least.
I liked that though. That's what I was gonna say. I like when streaming services release them weekly. Like I like it.
Like old TV.
Yeah.
And the thing that was built into old TV that I don't think that you don't really realize until you stop and you actually analyze how you interact with television, right?
Yeah.
Is that the real world time between episodes gets factored in by your brain as in universe time. You know what I mean? And you remember like a lot of these older shows, if they were serialized instead of just, episodic, they would even have the real world time be reflected in the show's time. So it'd be like events would be like a week later or a month later or whatever.
Here's the thing though. Like a lot of these streaming services, what they complain about is like people subscribing for, X amount of time just to watch a specific show or shows and then stop subscribing. They complain about having to produce so much content so quickly because people are binging. Like all of this is solved by just doing the shit that we're talking about.
Stretching it out.
All of it is solved.
How do you stop people from canceling after binging the one show they came there for if you're going to show the entire freaking thing all at once?
It's so simple. Like if they just release them episodically every week, they could overlay shows onto shows onto shows, just like network television used to do back in the day, and have and just keep the carrot on the stick for people to keep subscribing because. Like one show takes 2 months to watch the whole thing. If it's if it's 8 episodes, you figure a month and a half, 2 months, depending on if they drop 2 episodes at once or in the beginning or whatever. But then that's 2 months. Now you start another show the week after that one ends, and you keep it going, and then you keep the people going. One, it stays in the news. You're getting constant, the next episode of like when like the media doesn't even have a chance to talk about the show because the whole thing. Yeah, it's frustrating. But other than that, for the live action series, I'll say I really enjoyed the bending. Like I loved the on-screen bending, even in the first like this for I know Noman Garden said that he hadn't seen it yet. This is not a spoiler. It's like the first 1 minute of the show. There's some earth bending and some fire bending, and it looks great.
Fantastic.
It looks great. And there's some stuff that they do that the earthbenders do in that I've never seen an earthbender do in the animated series, and it was so cool.
Someone clearly thought about how someone would fight with these elements beyond just what we saw in the show.
Yeah, and a way to make it, a way to do it so it doesn't look cheesy and stuff like that. And
I had weight to it, like when the Earthbender moved Earth, it felt like he was putting effort into moving Earth and stuff like that. The Firebenders felt like they were moving something, not just waving their arms around.
And often in the cartoon, like when an Earthbender would like just say pick up a rock out of the ground, like just lift up a chunk of Earth, it would. The area that it lifted the rock from would fill in kind of behind it. So it wouldn't, where in the show, when they do it, they're just tearing chunks out of the ground and it leaves these craters and it looks really cool.
Yeah, there was definitely a sense that bending destroys the world around it as you use it.
Yeah, they're manipulating it, destroying it, like all kinds of crazy things with and that's just earthbending. The other departure from the animated series was the level of violence, like not just violence, but like
was really what it was. The level of brutality was. I was a little bit.
What happens to bodies when they get hit with firebending?
Yeah, or with a giant rock. you know, or whatever,
giant rock,
what have you. The only thing we didn't get to see is, you know, oh my goodness, I just thought of something. There's a certain kind of bending that's going to be brutal in this show.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really
excited to see that.
So
I'm
we
excited
do have
to hear the sound design for it.
Yeah, me too. Because the sound in the show is sick. So we do have in the comments that we are full spoiler for the animated series now, and Crystal has watched it, so we could talk about the blood bending and things like that. And that's what I'm specifically excited for, the blood bending. That's what
I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the sounds of bones?
Oh my god, it's gonna look sick. I'm picturing it in my head. Oh man, there's so many ideas. I have so many ideas. All right.
These are the tangents that we
at least we're talking about Avatar though. It's Avatar.
We are. Yeah. And the other big thing that I'm happy that they did was bringing in Azula early.
Yes, me too. Very, very much.
I'm very pleased with that. I think I saw some people. I don't know if you saw my Twitter thing where I was talking about people saying, like, you know, like who was it? I think it was it Hello Future Me posted a video recently featuring Azula, basically arguing that not every character deserves a redemption arc. And I put on Twitter that if a 14-year-old who was twisted into a psychopathic, you know, crazy person, with borderline personality disorder, by a malignant narcissist father and an essentially benignfully neglectful mother, if that person does not deserve redemption, that 14-year-old child does not deserve redemption.
Yeah.
Who the hell in fiction deserves redemption?
Absolutely.
Who? Like the only reason Zuko felt like he deserved redemption was because we got to see what made him Zuko.
Yeah.
And that's what the show's doing. We're going to see what made Azula hurt this way instead of just learning about it after the fact. You know what I mean?
But also Zuko had Iroh to kind of guide him through it. Yes. Azula didn't have anybody to guide her through it.
Like everybody just basically wrote her off. And like, and that's a great exploration of different types of psychology there too, because since she was so gifted as a firebender, there's a lot of the whole, well, we don't need to worry about her. She'll sort herself out. She's clearly on the ball. You know what I mean? But I loved how the show was the live action was going into just how much work she puts in to be that on the ball. Because the cartoon, she just sort of almost seemed like she just came out of the womb perfect in every way. You know what I mean? And in the live action, if there's one thing I think they've already definitely improved on with their characters, showing that no, Azula is up all night running drills and everything
and drilling. Yeah.
But anyway,
so one of the it's a perfect example though, because one of the things that drove me to add Avatar to the list was I saw this TikTok, and we actually had her as a guest for last season. Her name is WTF Elisa. I'll post her link in the chat as well. But I had this graphic that I had posted that she had, and it fits perfectly. So these are like, she was doing like a pitch to herself, is like trying to get someone to watch Avatar, and these are like the things that she said. But
I've seen that one. It's awesome.
Yeah. But one of them is characters that shared the same household trauma can affect show that the same household kind of trauma can affect two people completely differently, which is that's Zuko and Azula perfectly in it, and it is, and I think they did great with that. But now that we crossed over 100 viewers, hello everybody. I just want to quick make sure everyone go and click that subscribe button. You know, if you're enjoying our nonsense chat that we're doing over here, and hit the bell for not just for Dragon Mount, but for ReverseBLT as well. I have his link in the in chat and in the description for this video. So make sure to go drop him a like and a follow over there as well. Now, I'm sure some of those people are here for the little giveaway that we did last week for these things right here. I have them sitting right here, right next to me. The Wheel of Time here. I have a better picture of them though, so that people could actually see them. The Wheel of Time, A Memory of Light bag. It's
spoilers.
Yeah, it was. And I believe it was a Borders exclusive that if you went to the signing at Borders for Memory of Light. They were giving these bags away. And Tor sent me, I think, all of the ones they had left in their stock room. I have a bunch of them in my closet. So I was like, I want to give these away. So I have finding excuses on how and why to give them away. So we will be doing that. Koala Sadai is going to come join us probably after we watch the episodes 1 and 2. So we will do that, and I have them ready to go. So here, I'll just show you, just so people, believe that I have it ready. I have the wheel ready to go. So with everyone's names on it, and that's the one that we're going to do with everybody's name on it. And then I have a second one that we're going to do with just the people who donated during the stream last week. So that one is already set. The other one with all of the names, if anyone donates to the Kickstarter in the next hour or so that we are going to watch this video, these episodes, I'll add their names to this as well. Koala will send me their names when she joins, and I'll add them to that. So if you want to go and support that Kickstarter, I will post a link to that as well in the chat.
Notice Oiled and Oil wasn't on that wheel.
It is right there, and then that is for it's Cards Against Time. So it's the white cards are like you're the White Cloaks, and it's they're the questions, and the black cards are like the answers to those questions. They're like a certain other game that people may have played. But there's a whole bunch of stuff over on the Kickstarter. There's a few stretch goals that we've unlocked. We did get a bunch of backers last week, I think 5 or 6 extra backers, and then some during the week as well. So yeah, if you donate to the Kickstarter during this episode over the next hour, you'll get thrown into the wheel with all of the names on it for a chance to win one of the Memory of Light satchels, over the shoulder, one strap backpack. I don't know what you call it, but it's a pretty good backpack. It's the one that I wear and bring to conventions and stuff like that. If you've already donated to the Kickstarter, you can edit your pledge and just increase the amount by like $1, and it will because you could donate whatever you want to the Kickstarter. So if you just go to edit your pledge and increase it by $1, it'll update for Koala to let you know that it's already there. But if you've already donated, I already have you on the list. So this is really just for anyone who's watching right now, who's a Wheel of Time fan or just a nerdy card game fan and wants to back this Kickstarter. Or even if you just want to back it, you could go on and back it for $1 just to support the thing and enter for a chance to win one of those backpacks. So yeah, if you want, just go ahead and do that. And other than that, we're going to get ready to watch this show. So I'm going to throw my little handy dandy timestamp up on the screen. So if anyone wants to follow along, they could follow along with the timestamp. Or we're trying this new thing now where I actually have a link to a watch party, and I'm going to post that link in chat right now. Now, if you use that link, it will, if you're using Google Chrome or any Chrome-based browser, it will prompt you to download an extension. And the extension is a legit extension. It's backed by Netflix and a bunch of the other streamers. It'll basically just allows for watch parties for streaming services, which is really nice. Everyone still needs to have their own subscriptions and all that. It just links them all together so that we could watch it together. So if anyone wants to watch it that way with us, just go ahead and click that. It'll have you download the extension, and then it'll open up in the browser to watch along with us. If not, I'll also have the timestamp for people to follow along.
We've both downloaded it, so trust us, it is okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's great. It's an official. It's an official extension. It's not like a third party weird one. Netflix actually created it, and it used to just be called Netflix Watch Party, and it actually updated recently to Teleparty, and now it has like all of the major streamers, Hulu and Disney Plus and all that. So we might just be using this going forward if it doesn't give us too many problems. But this is the first time I'm using it like officially. We used it last week, but I didn't like post it and all that. This is the first time we're using it here. Anyway, I will get ready to press play in a minute here. I just want to give everyone time to download the extension and set up the timers and pause and all that before we jump in. But I have a quick question. If you were in the Avatar universe, and this is for chat too, but I'm curious to what you would say. What bender do you think you would be, like, personally? Like, what do you want to be, but what do you think you would be? Like, what do you fit better?
So I think that just because of the nature of the way spirituality seems to work in the Avatar universe, that it would be nice to be the kind of person who was centered enough to be like an airbender or something. Or maybe even a waterbender. Those two are very much the sort of centered kind of spiritual sides of the bending disciplines. I think, though, that I would probably end up either being earth or fire, just because I am very stubborn, which would make me a good earthbender probably. And I used to have serious rage problems when I was young. Snack bender, yes. I have already laid claim to being the dragon reborn, so I can't claim to be Avatar as well. So I don't get to be the guy who bends all the elements. Even though one of my big theories that I do believe will eventually play out, especially now that Studio Avatar or whatever has been formed to really go forward with some of their ideas.
Yep, they're making 3 movies and then an entire
should be a prequel show. Well. And I've heard there's also going to be a sequel show for Korra. So like the next bender down, maybe not the next bender, but I think they want to do an earthbender who's somewhere after Korra. But I don't know what stage that's at, But I believe I think just from stuff they've seeded throughout the 2 shows so far, the 2 animated shows, I should say.
Yeah.
That the idea is really that bending has nothing to do with the elements. That everyone who bends spirit. That's what they're actually doing. And that the distinction is basically an artificial one. And that's one of the reasons why you have these extensions of the disciplines that get really close to being another bending.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, because you think about it, like lava bending, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Lava bending is very, very much earth and fire at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that that's going to be ultimately how the whole thing wraps up. That when the Avatar ceases to be necessary will be the point where everyone realizes that it's just this energy that they're all bound together by that's being bent. And like there will be no distinction anymore between bending styles and regular benders versus the Avatar and all that. And then who knows what'll happen. I don't know exactly how they're going to close everything out after that revelation, but I think that's going to be one of the big revelations.
That's interesting.
Ready to wrap it all up.
I want to now when we do the flashbacks to like the first benders, when people first got the bending at the end of this season, I'm gonna really pay attention to that and see. I want to really listen to what the turtle says, the big lion turtle, and see and really listen for that. That would be really cool. I mean, like, it makes sense. It totally makes sense, especially with a lot of the stuff that Guru Patik says in the the end of the last season, when he teaches Aang, everyone's connected, everything's connected.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that would be really interesting if, like, even if it's just like what was it?
I said in the time before.
Oh yeah. Even if it's just to a minimal degree or something that everyone has the abilities, that would be cool. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get ready to press play in the Teleparty watch party that we have going. If you've clicked on it and it's giving you any weird things, just I'm gonna press play in a second. Just go ahead and refresh your page. I think it might time out a little bit, like once it sits for a minute, but I tested it like today with my wife, and it seems to work. Like it'll just basically force you to refresh and bring you to where we're at. So I'm going to press play on the timer and on the show in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Engage.
Yay! All right, so Nickelodeon, everyone's going, and now we have. I lied to Crystal, and I feel a little bit bad about it. I told her that Aang shaves his head pretty quickly, and that's not true.
Yeah, that is definitely what we would call a little bit of a fib.
Yeah, I forgot that he has hair for a little while because he uses it as a disguise for a bit. Yeah, the lion turtle is really freaking cool, man. Like I love all of the animals that are in the show, and especially I don't know what it is about turtles that I love so much, but all of the turtle animals, like the turtle seals and the turtle ducks, and there's lots of turtle versions of animals. And I really enjoy all of them.
If you're a fan of Stephen King, you know how important the turtle is.
Oh yeah. So the other thing that I realized while like I've watched book 3 now, like in the last like 2 weeks, probably like 4 times, just like only because like I like that's not even specifically for our rewatch show. I do that often. Like I just will put it on like while I'm doing something. If I'm playing a game or if I'm working on something on the computer, I'll have it on like one of my screens and just let it play. But this is the first episode where we see Fire Lord Ozai's face, like his whole face. Up till now, we've only ever seen like a silhouette of like his nose and his mouth.
And that right there is something I consider to be a little bit of a mixed bag for a change for the live action. Is seeing Ozai
so quickly. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah,
he doesn't feel like a monster. You know, he just feels like he feels very human. Like it's a very human evil that he is. Which,
yeah,
I mean, it's good and it's bad. Like I liked the feeling of him being this big, overbearing, monstrous figure that they made him out to be. But
the image of how Zuko saw him in his head. I really like how they did this reversal with him and Zuko.
Oh yeah. Zuko gained his honor back, and Aang kind of lost his in the same episode.
Even starting out on a Fire Nation ship, and
oh yeah. I mean, this is literally how Zuko started in episode 1. Yeah.
Now he's got a scar. I mean, there's so many like little. They cooked really, really hard in this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, Aang and Zuko are the main characters of this show. Like, I wouldn't even say that this show is like Aang is the main character and Zuko's a supporting character. Like, I would say they're both the main characters of this show. If you gave Zuko 10% more screen time per episode, he would be the main character of the show just by percentage wise. It's like.
Was it you that was talking about how he wasn't even supposed to be in the show?
Yeah, he was originally not even a character, and when they originally wrote it, they sat down and actually went through it. They realized that Fire Lord Ozai was the exact same character. Like, they basically had no villain that was going to be chasing the Avatar, and like they couldn't take Fire Lord Ozai and send him after Aang. It wouldn't make sense. Like, he would bring his armies and he would have like, and he's so much more powerful than him. Like, he has so many resources. So they needed a different villain, and they came up with Zuko pretty quickly, apparently, and also reworked Iroh. Iroh was very different as well, but they didn't say how they reworked him in that interview that I saw. It was in an interview that I watched when we were prepping for book 2, and they just said we had to rework Iroh as well. What up, Glenn? Glenn, if you're just stopping by real quick before you bounce, there's a really cool Kickstarter for Cards of Time. I'm not sure if you've backed it already, but if you haven't, go ahead and back it, and you could win a Wheel of Time, a Memory of Light backpack. If you haven't backed it already, go ahead and back that over there, and make sure to give ReverseBLT a follow. But I appreciate you. I feel like the animation also kind of stepped up its game in book 3. It looks very very different than it did in even in book 2. It's so much more crisp.
Well, then it took a little more time with the between stages of people moving.
The artists who did this are just absolutely fantastic. I love everything about the animated series. I have no criticisms of the animated series other than I wish it was 1,000 episodes longer. But I mean, part of the reason
you miss these so crazy old bats.
Oh yeah, yeah. and when they go to Ember Island, oh my god, I love the two of them.
I think that some of their role in the story has been shifted to May and Ty Lee. I think that's kind of why they were there.
Okay. In the live action.
Yeah, in the live action.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, they don't really have much of a function.
Yeah.
They're comic relief almost, and
exposition.
Yeah, a little bit of exposition. The way that I'm sorry, I watched the Ember Island episode earlier today, and I'm picturing there's a scene when they see 2 young, very good-looking women in a picture, and they're like, "Who are those good-looking women?" And they're like, "It's us." And
can't you tell?
Yeah, I just saw it in my head again.
Yep. Age comes for everyone.
So I'm interested in some of our women in chat. I was actually going to ask Crystal about it when it came up. But so the way Katara is behaving with her dad and Aang, and this like weird dynamic that's happening between the two of them, where it's like I don't know, she's trying to take her dad down a peg with the things he's saying and doing around Aang and Sokka, so that she's kind of propping up Aang and Sokka. Is that like a thing? Is that a thing that happens with like young girls and their dads and their boyfriends, or is this just like is this a thing? Is basically what I'm asking. I've never noticed it, but I was going to ask Crystal, but obviously she's in chat, so if she wants to reply, or any of the women want to reply. It's
kind of funny that you asked that, because one of the things I was sitting here thinking about, like how to bring it up, was how watching Katara interacting with her dad and Aang was when I truly believed that Katara and Aang were going to be a couple.
Oh yeah,
like that cemented it for me.
Yeah,
it's just the way that she was being, I don't know how to say it, like almost protective of Aang from her own father in a weird sort of way. You know what I mean?
And not even just protective, like
putting up a barrier between them. I don't know how to describe it, but like
it's not even just protective of him. It's like she's also like trying to be like protective of his reputation and who he is and like his position, not just him as a person.
Like justifying him to her father.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Oh, we got another backer that I had to add to the list.
Nice. Hooray!
Yay!
Clappity clap. If this happens in the live action, 100% these dudes are going to actually die.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
There will be no floating in the water. Everyone's safe.
Yeah, I mean, like I get that. I understand the whole dynamic around her being upset and angry, but also understanding around him leaving. It's the weird dynamic of the way she's almost attacking him in the way she defends Aang and Sokka specifically, but also but mainly Aang with him, like the way she talks about Aang to him, and like and is like, "All right, you met, now you can leave."
Yeah, and the
It's almost
subtext
like
is a lot of fun though.
you know what I'm picturing in my head, like if they were like at Katara's house and like it was like, and she had Aang over after school and he came in and was like,
to her
no,
bedroom.
hanky.
Yeah, exactly. Went up to their bedroom. The parents are trying to kind of like insinuate themselves into the situation.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's enough. Leave.
Gosh, Mom, leave us alone.
Yeah. That's what it felt like.
All right, you can leave the snacks at the door, okay?
Yeah, no hanky panky. I heard you. Yay, turtle ducks.
By the way, episode 2, in my mind, is one of the most romantic and strangely erotic scenes in anything ever. And it's a kids show.
Yeah.
a kids show.
Which one? Which scene?
Oh, I'll point it out because
I
remember, I still remember when I first saw it. I was like, that worked way better than it probably should have worked, considering this is supposed to be a kid's show.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. Aaron. Like it's like she's trying to be like, we're adults. Like we've been doing this all alone because you left us, and I don't need your whatever you in this situation. Like that's like she's trying to break away from her parent. That makes sense.
And like the episode even tells us later, it's there's a lot that's being said that has nothing to do with the current situation. You know what I mean? It's like years of stuff she's wanted to say.
Yeah.
Just bleeding out whether she wants it to or not.
Yeah. I fucking love Thom. Oh my God.
The greatest earthbender in history.
Yeah, and I can finally call her the Melon Lord, as is right and true and proper. Like, I've been calling her Toph the entire time, but really her true title is the Melon Lord. I've been avoiding saying it because Crystal hadn't seen book 3 yet, but now she has, so now I can say it. Oh my God, they're so awesome now as like master benders, all of them. Oh.
Yep.
See, here's another thing. How is she like? I get it. Like she could just be moving the molecules of water so fast that it heats up and it creates steam. But like even that's to be able to move you can move molecules of water fast enough that it turns into fire. Like it's possible. There's hydrogen and oxygen in water, and if you break apart those molecules and move them fast enough, it will create fire.
Also, you think about how fire is generated. How does Iroh tell us fire is generated? It literally comes from the chi inside the person. It's pure energy.
Their breath,
being expressed.
Inner breath. Yeah.
You know?
See, but I was thinking that it was fog, but it made the sound. It made the steam sound when it popped up out of the water. It was like. But yeah, I mean, it could just be fog. But fog is like she would have to drop
steam.
Yeah, well, she would have to drop the temperature of the air or raise the temperature of the water to create the condensation of the fog that quickly in the air, which is the same thing, which is steam. Like
somewhere out there's a physicist who's figured out a whole bunch of weird energy requaremse and stuff.
We got to get Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's what we need. Neil deGrasse Tyson. How does Katara make water vapor in this scene in Avatar? What would make the most sense?
Have you ever seen there was this physicist who actually went and made like an entire web page dedicated to explaining all the things Magneto would be able to do?
That would be cool. That's
and
cool.
Why? It was incredible. He said that he always wondered whether or not Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and understood what they had done when they put the word electro in front of the word magnetism when they created that character.
Yeah.
It's like you literally just made one of the most broken characters of all time by making him control electromagnetism instead of magnetism.
It's the problem with like when people like, you know, when they made the comics and the show and stuff, they didn't have scientists and stuff sitting in the background to ask questions to. You know, they didn't consult with people. They were just like, oh, it's cool. He can control metal.
I love that transition with them focusing on Aang's on the non-scarred side of Aang's face as he says, "I need my honor back," and they immediately cut over to the scarred side of Zuko.
Real quick. Looks like what's going on over there?
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Who is it? Hey!
It's Koala.
Hey, everybody. So good to
Koala.
Hi. Great to see you, ReverseBLT.
Did I say good day right?
G'day.
G'day, mate.
Is that okay?
Yep. G'day. Yeah.
Good day.
We'll
I was talking
we
in the
still got about 10 minutes left in this episode, but we'll do our drawings after this episode is over.
Are we gonna sing the Simon song?
You can.
I will.
I'm so glad you're eating because I'm trying to quickly script a bit of lunch in. So I was really glad to see you eating, and I'm like,
if you want, why don't you could go eat and then we could.
I've got it right here with me. I've got it right here beside me.
It's up to you. You're more than welcome to hang out. I was just saying, if you want to go eat, we could watch the next episode and do the and make people wait. And we can do the other one afterwards.
No, we can still watch the next episode before we announce it because I have started watching this. I'm up to episode 6.
I saw book 3 of season 3.
No, you're going to be spoiling me, but I don't mind being spoiled. Actually, I'm still on season 1. This might enthuse me that it's going to get along better.
And the scene, we were just talking about the scene specifically. But yeah, no, I'm glad we got you though. So wait, so you're on episode 6 of season 1. Are you enjoying it? Yeah, I thought so.
I'm struggling.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I realized? This is just a little bit of trivia. When I was a child, when the very first anime TV show came out, and do you know what that was?
Astro Boy?
Animated TV.
Astro Boy.
Astro Boy, okay.
Yeah, and I was a child. We played Astro Boy at kindergarten. I'd go to kindergarten and we'd all play Astro Boy. And so, yeah, and like Rapunzel says, we've had a couple of little chats. They're still babies in season 1. And so I keep getting these kind of, feelings of playing Astro Boy at kindergarten. So it's probably good for me to get a sneak peek at season 3 so that I like, you know what I mean? Go, okay, they're gonna get somewhere.
You'll just be wondering who the heck is this random midget? Pardon me for saying the word midget, guys. Every now and then.
If you check the private chat in here, I posted the link, but I'll post the link again for everyone if they want to watch it too.
Good idea. Last chance to get in the draw.
Yeah, make sure you get in the draw for the backpack and also back an awesome project. But here's also the link to watch the show. So if anyone wants to join us through the Teleparty extension that we're using for this, so I just sent that there too, so you could actually join in and watch if you want.
Great.
And I'll say it's working beautifully.
Good. I'm glad.
Oh, fabulous.
This is also the last time we
do things alone.
This is the last time Aang is going to use his original glider too.
Ooh.
So he's in this episode, he's kind of like shedding all of the parts of him that were a child. He's leaving everything behind. This is the last thing. which is oh god,
Azula.
Yeah, Azula's great. I fucking love her so much. She's absolutely ridiculous.
The animator seriously did not know how to draw her.
There's scenes when she looks like she's 14, 15, and then there's scenes where she looks like she's 30.
Yeah. I remember when I told you how when I first found out that she was 14 years old in the show?
No.
I had been a fan of the show for over a decade.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And it was one of those things where once you know it, you stop, you think about it, and you realize you should have known. You know what I mean? Because all the context clues were there in terms of like what we knew about everyone else.
Yeah.
We knew she was the younger sister. We knew the Zuko wasn't an adult yet, etc. You know?
That's fair. It is they are kind of like bumbling little doofuses, you know, in season 1. But Aang does have a few of those scenes in season 1, even in episode like 3, I think it is, where he has these moments where he has to be an adult and he has to do these very difficult things or important things, and that just kind of ramps up more and more as the series goes along.
I think with the live action, like watching some of the criticisms people had of it, I realized one of the things that, in my opinion, people kind of mistakenly think about the animation is that it's a show about a goofy little kid forced to be like, you know, to take on this responsibility.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it was actually kind of the opposite. It was a story about this person who tried to run away from their responsibility by pretending to be a goofy little kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I know the distinction might be subtle in a way, but like I think it's a really important one. Like a lot of it was Aang playing it up as a way to cope and run away.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, him surfing on the wave like that is like how Kotak, the waterbender before Roku, surfed in that one flashback scene.
Kiruk? Is that his name?
Kiruk or Kotak or something like that.
I liked having Yue show up to give him a little boost.
Oh yeah. My girlfriend is the moon. All things that you'll learn what that means and everything, koala, and don't worry. The good thing about a lot of this is Kuruk. Oh, I was close. He is, we could say a lot of stuff and you're going to have no idea what any of it means, and it's not really a spoiler.
Exactly.
Oh man, I really want to get the Airbender tattoos really bad, but I don't want to get it. Like if you look, Aang has the arrow, like it's down into the middle. I think I would get it so that it ends like up here. Like that.
Yeah, there's no real way to conceal the Airbender tattoos in real life.
No, I don't want to conceal them. I just don't want it in the middle of my face.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to get it like how am I going to conceal? I don't got any hair, so like, you know, I'm fine with that. But like, yeah, I would just want it to be like here. I think like right about there. I do.
I might be reaching a little bit, but I do also think it's nice to have the incarnation that Roku was born into after dying in a volcano burn the last vestige of his ancestral life at a volcano.
At the volcano. That is Roku's island.
Oh yeah, it is actually Roku's. Yeah. So
yeah. Somehow, and we're just gonna let this. So I'm gonna just let this play right into the next one. I will restart the timer in a second for everyone who's following along with the timer. But we're gonna just let this play right into the next one. And we are at 24:14.
The oldest of the Avatar memes. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, that was like I remember seeing that meme all the fucking time. There it goes. So we should be. Yep, we're lined up perfectly now. Yay!
Oh my god! I can't believe how many times I've watched that opening and never noticed. He didn't just crash into just any statues.
Yeah.
Those were lion turtle statues.
Yeah. They're lion turtles, but they're also foo dogs.
Yeah,
because the foo dogs are lion dogs. Yeah. Do you know how to tell the male and female foo dogs apart? The statues? The statues
crown?
they're always a male and a female.
Is it the crown?
The male will have its foot on a ball, and the female will have its foot on a baby foo dog.
Interesting.
I know you know.
I learned something today.
Is that because men just can't help scratching their balls?
I guess probably, yeah. Probably.
When you achieve manhood, you usually have learned how to scratch it without scratching them.
Yes.
You learn really subtle techniques of scratching and rearranging without anyone realizing that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
But what actually happens is women have matured and they just take no notice. And so men think that they have managed to do it without it being noticed. Yeah.
Hey,
letting us think we got away with something.
I mean, I've been many of the women in my life are not small in the chest department, and they often have to adjust themselves too. So I understand. I think the plight goes around.
The enemy has spies everywhere.
He has a saddle again. This is the first time he's got his saddle back on since he got taken by the sandbenders. Oh, I couldn't imagine. I'm fully aware of how horrible they are, especially for different sized women. Like my wife has a hell of a time trying to find like a comfortable bra.
I'll never regret being small. Yeah. It's not fun.
The underwire and stuff like that in them is always just like, I'm like, damn.
I really had no clue this would be a conversation I'd be having today on
There you go.
live online. But yeah, but I am a firm believer in not buying bras with underwires. You don't have to have that. And horrible.
Yeah.
I think there's so many things about clothing and honestly a bunch of stuff that really falls into the category of you don't need to do this. And it's like we literally just do it because we want to make other people feel comfortable, because it feels like we're all playing by the same agreed upon rules that don't matter, you know?
Because if you look at how fashion changes over the centuries,
oh yeah,
it's ridiculous, you know, and people can get so like I do a market stall, and this beautiful stall beside me is this man who does clothing repairs. And at the last market, we're standing side by side, you know, people watching, you know, as people are walking past. And he just kind of goes, you know, one of the big problems with the world today? And I said, no, what is it? And he said, they don't iron their clothes. And it took everything for me to just keep a straight face and say, oh, I see. They don't iron their clothes. And to him, that was a big social problem.
Yeah.
A problem with people.
I can't even think about the last time I ironed any of my clothing, though.
So I didn't tell him.
Yeah. I mean, since the majority of my clothing is t-shirts and shorts, I don't really iron them. I do hang all of my t-shirts up in my closet, though.
I'm actually very fussy about how I hang them on the washing line, how I get them, in, and I don't put them in a basket jumbled in a mess to get crumpled to need ironing. But I don't iron them.
I'm like that too, especially when I hang them up in the closet. I make sure that they're sitting flat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I usually have to roll everything or lay it flat so that it won't.
My wife went to tea, like a tea time with her friends for her birthday, and while she was gone, we decorated the house and then had a party when she came back. It was fun. We played board games and had food and cake, and it was great. I had to iron her. I had to steam her dress that she wore to tea because it was very wrinkly. So that was the last time I ironed something. Before that, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. And I just don't buy clothes like that anymore. I'm just like, I'd have to iron that. I'm not buying it.
I've got like 2 suits. They sit in the closet. I wear them for funerals and weddings, essentially.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about hanging shirts is that you get the little humps in the shoulder where the hangers end.
I know what you mean, and so that made me think, because he has this. It's a little tiny iron. It's like this big, and a little ironing board that's like this long that he sits on his market stall. And really, it's you can just press a collar, press the end of a sleeve. You can just do those little touch-up things with it. And I thought, see, that's all I would ever need, because then, you know what I mean? If you take something off a hanger and it's got a bit of a humpy bit, you could just press that. But, I'm not going to iron the whole thing. No. And I do have an ironing board and I do have an iron, and I don't remember the last time it ever came out of a cupboard.
Yeah, I never used mine.
My iron was to put like a screen press on a shirt. That was the last time I used
an iron-on transfer. Yeah. Well, here's the lining board. It's like this big, and it just sits on a tabletop or a bench top. Like,
that's
right?
That's so true. Gnomon Garden.
I'm trying to popularize the term USian.
USian.
We could just go with mannerless colony slob. I'm good with that.
Yeah, it's true. It's only slightly more syllables.
Yeah.
I get annoyed at the idea of like this one country out of like, what is it, like 20 something in the Americas calling itself America. Like what are all these other countries,
Yeah. Well, it's only a certain portion of people that call it America. Most people say the United States.
See, and that cracks me up, because it used to be the United States of America. And to you, it might seem like, well, it's just the United States. But to me, it's like the United States of what?
Yeah.
I mean, well, Mexico is the United States of Mexico. So it's another way that we're very arrogant. Like we're like, no, we're the United States. We're America.
Are there any other? The only other one that I could think of is the United Arab Emirates. But is there another country that is United something?
United Kingdom.
Oh yeah, United Kingdom, but not states.
Isn't Micronesia United something of Micronesia?
Yeah, maybe.
I love how we just go off on our little rambling walks.
Yeah, we're weird.
Macaroni picture.
Did the watch party stop for you guys? No, right?
A little hiccup, I think I noticed earlier, but I don't know whether that was actually running it slightly or what.
Okay, it's still going for me. It just gave me like a warning that it would like take me out of the party if I didn't click on something. So I clicked on something, but I was just making sure that everyone else is good.
It's going for me.
All right, cool. Cool.
Well, I was going to say this episode made me feel weird the first time I saw it, because it was like the inappropriate crush that I had on Katara.
Oh man!
I was sitting there like when they unveiled her Fire Nation outfit, I was like, "Am I a bad person?"
There's one character that I had a crush on in Avatar, Let me get a picture of her.
June? I think everybody had a crush on June.
Yeah,
literally everybody.
June. Yeah, it's June.
June's not an inappropriate crush, though.
Yeah, she was an adult.
Yeah, June's like 40. So
she's a good-looking 40. I'll say that. Blah 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 blah. He said.
You, call me slob.
So the WTF Elisa, the TikTok creator that I talked about earlier, the thing that she did was when she was doing the pitch meeting back and forth for this, it was like, she was trying to convince the person is like, I want to watch a show that has a disabled character, but their entire story arc isn't about their disability. And then she's like, Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then like, so the person keeps saying these increasingly odd like specifics for the show that they want to watch, and her response is Avatar: The Last Airbender for every one of them. And then at one point she goes, all right, I want a show with a hot Dami mommy with a whip. And she was like, believe it or not, Avatar: The Last Airbender. and that would be June. That would be June.
I wonder if they're going to pay off the reversal of the prosiness that they're doing in live action. I really hope they do, because I actually thought it was really funny to have it be coming from the opposite direction this time.
Oh, I have a bird at my window. I have a bird feeder suction cup to the outside of my window, and a bird I heard like snapping against the window. There's still food in that motherfucker. Shit.
I was about to say, it's telling you it's empty.
No, I could still see stuff in there.
It wants the good stuff, man.
It wants the good stuff. It does. I don't have. Yeah, I know, a night bird. It's weird. It's usually like.
Is it a corvid?
I don't know.
Is it like a crow or something?
No,
it's like
so. It's too. It wasn't big enough. It would have been a lot louder if it was like a crow or something. I did befriend a crow. I've begun befriending crows in my neighborhood. I've begun. There was a crow on my house, and I brought food out, and it went down and it ate it. And then like I walked around, and it didn't immediately fly away. So I've begun befriending the crows of my neighborhood.
Soon you shall become the beneficiary of many shots.
That's my goal. I need to buy some good cash. I need to buy like cashews and shit, so that like when it starts to bring me things, I bring out like the good food. Like, oh, here's a couple of cashews.
Eat it what you want. Do you hear about the lady who literally I think it was a lady. She literally basically taught a bunch of crows to steal money for her.
Yes, because she would reward them with really good food when they brought money.
I'm waiting for because I have like an army of Rapunzel.
I fully accept
it. I'm waiting for someone to land on my on the ledge or something so I can start training them.
Wang fire, sapphire fire. I love how easy Katara rolls with all of the nonsense disguises that they do. Like, hi, I'm June Papin Capsopodolus III. She immediately just joins in when Aang busts out that name. Like, it's just she's great.
Katara has the greatest freaking improv instinct I've ever seen.
Yeah, the three of them improving together is just fantastic. Those are some of my favorite scenes in the entire series. Is when the three of them have to invent identities on the fly for shit. 100%. Who knew? Oh my god! I have to see if I can get my other camera working so I could show you guys what is sitting next to me right now.
May is the funniest goth ever.
Oh, okay, good. It's working. Nice. All right, I'm gonna throw another camera into the stream. It's basically my cell phone, but
for the cat,
you gotta see this cat.
Bird cam.
I'm always up for seeing a cat.
Oh, it's a cat cam.
Yeah, in fact, let me name it Cat Cam. because that makes sense.
Also, little scenes like this,
one
of the things I love is
he's just sitting
the
there.
fact that Azula is torn between loving her brother and hating her brother. And you can literally see her going back and forth all the time between loving him and hating him. Aw.
He's just laying there.
Sleeping.
This is what I have sitting on my desk. He's just sitting there next to my computer. So cute. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right, Avatar. Oh my God, I love when he puts the disguises on that have facial hair, though. He always looks ridiculous. Oh, I love how they bring this in. I won't say how they bring it into the story later with the secret with the secret dance party, but I love how they tie this to like the dictatorship control of the Fire Nation, and also, you know, the entire story of Footloose.
Yep.
Who knew Footloose was going to have a really big influence on the Fire Nation in Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Kevin Bacon is a hero known throughout the multiverse.
Obviously.
You're not wrong.
Okay. This is the scene I was talking about.
The Flamios. Sounds like a breakfast cereal.
Not the specific part.
I figured it was going to be the dancing scene, but I don't remember any overtly sexual dances that they did.
Not specifically sexual. Not specifically. Just
okay. Romantic.
Overtly romantic. Like
overtly romantic. Okay.
Very overtly romantic.
Six versus Kevin. So I actually my friends and I made a game, and like we actually made like cards and everything for basically it's like 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, but you just link any two actors together in with movies. And I'm oddly good at it. I don't know why. The only other person that I would have a crush on would be oh shit, what's his name? Aang's firebender teacher. I just really like him.
Oh, Zhang.
Zhang, yeah.
He had a cool voice.
Yeah, we do. I made all types of variants to the game. So like we have one where we pull out a director deck and a writer deck. I don't have a producer one, but there's an actor deck and a writer deck, and then there's rule decks. So it's like, you know, no Marvel movies allowed in this in your linking of this of these actors.
And Katara being jealous as usual.
Of course.
Tell you what, if you had a director one, you'd win around if you just brought up like Coppola or Scorsese or something.
Oh yeah. And then there's one where it's like you have to add something to the link, so it's not just the two actors. It's like you have to include, you know, a Harry Potter movie in your link. So you have to connect them to a character in Harry Potter and then to the other, you know, character.
And begin.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I've seen so many movies that were intended to be romances aimed at adults that did not do it as well as this scene did.
That's fair. I've seen this dance before in a movie.
I like how it's literally just them doing katas with each other.
Yeah, it's almost like they're doing katas, but I've seen this before where they put their. I've seen this somewhere.
Not the grade.
Is it Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon or something? Oh, what'd you say? Mae Whitman and Kevin Bacon. Mae Whitman.
She's one of those actresses whose name I know because she's been in literally everything, but I can't think of what she looks like.
Trying to think
there's like this one actor who's the same way. And look at how they end it.
Yeah, that ending was
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, Mae Whitman is freaking. She's the voice of what's her face.
Oh yeah, I love What's Her Face.
It is very Addams Family. Yeah.
Holy crap! My brain is not working right now.
Obviously not.
Yeah, she does Katara. Sorry. Oof. Wow. Let me think.
And then we end it with I Am Spartacus.
She's been in a lot of stuff. She's been acting since she was a kid. Now I'm going to be thinking about this.
There's so many of those actors like that.
This is another thing that I love about this show, and I've said it a bunch. That they really do a great job of showing. Yes, they're at war with the Fire Nation. But it's not everyone in the Fire Nation, and it's not even everyone in the Fire Nation army, and not everyone in the Earth Nation and the Water Nation is good, and not everyone in the army is good, and we often see that, and I just love the way they do it. I love the way they do that. It's especially now. It's a very important thing.
Yeah, they have to like constantly reinforce this is what it means to be Fire Nation in order for them to like stay the way they are.
Yeah. It was just a dance party.
Tara steals another kiss.
Flameo.
Sokka's stuck with that beard for like another month.
She was in a really old.
Yes, the intro of this dude.
Oh yeah, Sparky Boom Boom Man. She was in a Meg Ryan movie.
Sparky Boom Boom Man was in a Meg Ryan movie?
No, Mae Whitman. I'm 90% sure she was in a Meg Ryan movie.
I'm just being silly. You know how I am.
If she was in a Meg Ryan movie,
giant guy.
If she was in a Meg Ryan movie, Kevin Bacon and Meg Ryan were in The Cut together. So that's 2 movies that it takes to link them. Anyway, that is the end of our watch party. So I'm going to stop the watch party there. If anyone, thank you for everyone who joined that way. And we're going to get rid of our timer because the times is over. It was, so I know a lot of that didn't make a lot of sense to you, Koala, but I mean, you can imagine where they're going with everything. And like, eventually they're going to get to a place. They do take some twists and turns. Like you'll be like, wait a minute.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah. Like you'll be like, wait a minute. The timer ended. You're like in season 2, you can be like, wait a minute. I thought I was watching season 1 or season 3 when I was with Thom, and that like this is season 2. And there's a lot of things like that where it's like you won't realize. You'll think things are happening too fast based on what you just watched, but it's just that they do a really good job writing, and I tell a lot of people that don't like. Specifically, there was a guest author that we had for a show, and she said she doesn't like to watch animated stuff, and I'm like, listen, this show is a masterclass in writing. Just like if you just watch it for the writing of the characters and the journey that the characters go on, it's worth it for that. But then the entertainment value of just like, the fun jokes and things like that. But really paying attention to the interactions of the characters and like their story development, it's perfect. Like it's literally perfect. And just for Koala's sake, so I mentioned before WTF Elisa. So she's a TikTok creator. We had her on for an episode last season, and she's probably going to join for this season as well when she ever checks her email. But she did this TikTok thing where like she was playing two people. She was being herself, and then like a person that was like, I want to watch a show that, and she would say, I want to watch a show that has disabled characters, but their entire arc isn't about them being disabled. They have they perfected the found family trope. They have martial arts that's based on real martial arts. The side characters are just as beloved and memorable as the main characters. It has the most gorgeous score ever. And like all of these things are Avatar. And then her answer to it is always just Avatar: The Last Airbender. And then the other version of her gets annoyed and spits out okay, well, I just want a super hot Dami mommy with a whip. And goth Dami mommy with a whip. And then she's like, Avatar: The Last Airbender. But yeah, I mean, like Avatar really does have a lot of amazing writing in it and dialogue in it. And it's worth it even just for that, let alone the actual
Every
story.
single character has an arc, pretty much.
Yeah, of course. Can I ask a question? Did you guys do a rewatch of seasons 1 and 2?
We did 2. So
you did 2. When I get up to season 2, what I might do is like watch an episode and then watch your rewatch of it. You know what I mean? So that I get that. Yeah. Because I actually really like watching, if I'm watching a new show, finding a good podcast that goes with it, that doesn't do spoilers, but gives extra, backgroundy. Like I'm watching, what's one of the other ones that were on the Fallout? Yeah, like I'm watching Fallout, and I'm following a podcast that's just all about the lore of the world.
Okay.
And that's really enjoyable because then it's like something happens, you're like, it just, even just them talking about Mad Max and his dog and how like you just are seeing this dog all through it, and you're like,
please tell me his name is Dog Meat. I haven't seen it yet, but please tell me his name is Dog Meat.
I mean, you see the dog in that.
Not so far, but I'm wondering if we will get one named Dog Meat. So
it's got,
and that's just like then, because it just then as you're watching it, you just got all these other little things, that you're kind of building into the enjoyment of even, watching something to happen. So when I get to season 2 of Avatar, I'll go and find your shows and work it out so that I kind of get use your shows as a bit of a
I did. So if you want to, once you finish season 1, I actually did a recap episode where we recapped all of season 1, and we talked about season 1 with no spoilers for season 2. And then we also did season 2. We did no spoilers for season 3 because Crystal was watching it for the first time while we were doing the show. So, but this season, I mean, obviously it's the last season, so there's going to be spoilers, but, that would be a lot of fun. And if you want to talk about it, feel free to, post in the, over in the Dragon Mount Discord, shameless plug. Cool. And we can chat about it whenever you want. Rapunzel's over there too. We can chat over there as well. All right. But what I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for in the chat is the chance to have me remind them to subscribe to our channel and make sure to click the little bell for Dragon Mount, but not just Dragon Mount, also for our good friend here, ReverseBLT. I'm going to post his @ in the in the thing here.
Yes, 3-Body Problem is the current reaction series. I am.
Oh, because I'm watching that as well.
I haven't watched that yet. I want to watch it though.
Oh, nice.
I am half through it. Well, I mean, I've watched the whole thing already, but I'm half
Cool.
through posting the reactions. I've been taking IT classes, and so
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
been like basically eating all of my time. So I
Uh,
had to
our
pause for a little bit.
life does that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
What
it
I've
really
been
does.
doing, I tend to have a couple of things I'm watching that I just save for the weekend, you know, and so it means I don't watch them too quickly. And so Fallout and Three Body Problem are the two that I've been watching, you know, usually on a Friday or Saturday night or something. So I'll have to find that and check it out, because I haven't actually been following anything about that show. I just realized. So yay.
It's been a lot of fun to talk with people about it.
Yeah,
so far I only got spoiled by one commenter.
Right.
Though I will say it was a gigantic freaking spoiler. It was enormous. I was like, really? Yeah. I was like, I want you to think about what I do. The fact that I'm reacting to things, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to think about how on earth I would have reacted to that information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm hoping they didn't do it on purpose, at least.
I don't think they did most of the time, and that's why I usually don't get upset. I did explain, you know, I wish they had done that and read it. Most of the times I don't get mad, because usually it doesn't feel like they're just being briefers. Usually it feels like they get super excited because they get the chance to talk about this thing they love with somebody who's never experienced it before, and they just start talking, and then they say something they really shouldn't have said without thinking about the fact that they really shouldn't have said it. And I was just like, you know, just think about this in the future.
Some iconography like we have here for when we did the Wheel of Time, and we were not spoiling it for specific books. So we would do that.
I probably should do something like that, because it is increasingly obvious that most of your audience as a reactor, they don't actually watch your intros. They really don't. Just skip right past them if you're a reactor.
Yeah.
And it's in the intro where I talk about the fact that, you know, this is what I know about this property already. This is whether I've read the books or whether I've whatever.
You have to just assume that they're not listening to anything you say, and that you need to put it on the screen.
I'll do that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like talking to Crystal specifically. You know, as a teacher, you know, you have to explain things, you know, in a certain way when you're a teacher, and I feel like you have to do similarly with you know, YouTube and things like that. But
and you are right. People just jump on and they just jump straight in feet first, you know. Because we're all so busy, there's so much life happening that you can kind of go, oh, look, there's something, you know, and you just jump in and don't really stop to check, you know, do your safety check.
Yeah. I will say, Glenn, the writing was good. I did like the changes that they had to make and stuff like that were good. The storytelling was good. There's and it's not the kid's fault. The kid that plays Aang, at least in my opinion, I don't think it is. But I just don't like the way that they directed him to play Aang. Because like I watched an interview with that kid. Like if you want, like anyone who's watched a live action Avatar, go watch the interviews with that kid. His normal demeanor is Aang. It's Aang. And then you get like this completely different person when he's on screen, and he doesn't have any of that childlike person in him.
I'll say that's definitely the directing.
It's the directing. I don't blame that kid at all.
I don't think it's just the directing. I think it's the writing as well for that.
Yeah,
for that
probably.
Thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Just putting on my admittedly extremely slow writer hat. That's one of those things that stuck out to me is what they really made a choice. And obviously we can debate whether it was a good choice, but they made a choice that they wanted to stress the weight of what was going on more than the response to the weight.
Because
we do get moments where he is exactly like cartoon Aang. You know what 100%. I mean? So I think they were trying to stress the idea that I was going with, which is that his behavior, that those childlike moments are mostly him trying to cope with his responsibility.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say I do think they pushed it just a little further than they needed to.
Yeah. The only reason why I feel like it's an appropriate critique, and it's not like I'm not like nitpicking, is because
it's entirely appropriate critique. It definitely is.
Well, I feel like the live action show loses that feeling of a 12-year-old kid having to make these decisions and being in these situations where like you really get that when you see Aang and the way he acts in the animated series is like, oh, this kid is obviously 12 years old. Like the way he reacts to things, the way he talks, the way he does stuff. You don't get that in live action. You just don't get it.
Yeah, like, you only get it for the scenes where he's in the past.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they started with that, is just so that we could get this kind of like before he knew how shitty everything was going to be and after he knew kind of contrast.
Yeah.
I don't poo-poo it as much as a lot of folks do, because I think that one of the things they did really well was how they used the contrast between Aang's life before, specifically with Gyatso, and his life, his interaction with Boomy after meeting him again.
Yeah.
And having this sort of like, kind of like, I don't even know if there's a term for this, but it's like an arc, but it's not specifically just the characters experiencing the arc, but it's like an arc involving the story itself, where you have this, the idea of what the world has been going through over the past century of war, and how it mirrors Aang's behavior. So there's this like loss of innocence and like this kind of bitterness that's starting to set in. And we see that very much typified with Boomy, which of course made a lot of people upset, because obviously he's not quite as overtly bitter in the cartoon. I would still argue he is bitter in the cartoon. He's just not as obviously bitter. But in the live action, he's very obviously bitter and broken down, and all this stuff by this century of war. And I think it's meant that Aang's behavior is also meant to kind of mirror that's going on. And we see how his interaction with Boomy, they both kind of in a way rediscover this feeling of hope.
Yeah.
By the end of that, through the whistle, and and obviously Katara and Sokka coming to help out and all that good stuff. Yeah. And it sort of starts an upswing. And I think that's what they were trying to do. And if you go through it and but like I said, I don't think that they nailed that. I think that was one of the things that they attempted and didn't quite hit it. Is one of the reasons why I think the show needed 2 more episodes.
Definitely.
Because that's the kind of thing that needs a more gradual.
Well, I could say that for almost every single show that has come out in the last 10 years.
Yeah, really, honestly.
Especially the Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time needs, and again, I quite like the Wheel of Time show, but like it absolutely needs more time to breathe. It needs more time to breathe. I would say that show needs 13 episodes per season. Yeah. Just because there's so much densely layered stuff going on,
Speaking of wheels, though.
The Wheel of Punishment. I mean, prizes.
No, that's an Avatar episode. So these people on this list are the people.
That's our 4.
Yeah, that had backed during the stream last week. So I'm going to double check the list that I have here. Why do I have 4 names on this one?
They're the ones who backed during the live stream, and the other list you would have is everyone who's backed so far.
I don't know why I keep saying a 5th name on that. It's 4. That's right. Okay, cool. So before and then Koala, is there any other backers I need to add other than?
No.
Okay, no. Cool. So I updated it with the other backer that we got during the stream, but we're going to pull this one first. And again, this is for one of the Memory of Light backpacks.
They're so gorgeous. Yeah.
I have them sitting here and they're ready to go out. So let's see who gets it. Let's go.
This is a pretty cool little thing. Where'd you find this?
It's just a browser, just a web page. I mean, sorry. Yay! Yay, Robin!
Robin Allen!
Yay! Do you know Robin Allen?
Oil and oil.
I don't know that name because you know what it really makes you realize is that we know everybody by their screen name.
Their screen names. That's fair.
You know, so I bet you I do know Robin Allen, but I haven't put it together. And so is Robin Allen here right now? Please stand up, the real Robin Allen.
Please stand up. Please stand up. Well, if Robin Allen, you have their contact information through yes, Kickstarter, and you can message them through that. But if when you do, or if they are listening, if they're going to any of the conventions, I will be at both WhatCon and Malkircon. So if they're going to either, so if they're going to either of those, I can, and they want me to bring it, I can bring it to them.
Fantastic.
There. All right.
Beautiful.
So
all right.
Congratulations, Robin Allen.
Yeah, good job, Robin. I will be sending that with some other goodies in the bag as well. All right, let's get the other wheel up. This wheel
wait, there's more.
Yeah, I know. This wheel is significantly bigger than the other one.
Yes. So 53 backers so far. And while Tom's getting that wheel together, I just have to say that I had quite a lot of phone discussions with the printers yesterday, working out some of the nitty gritty because they actually have to design the boxes and cut them and make the boxes and everything. And so we were working all of that stuff out. And just like while we were watching that last episode of Airbender, they sent me back. So I've been doing all my quotes on their online system. You know, they've got a quoting thing and you go in, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, so I'll just double check because we had to take this out and replace it with boxes they were going to make, you know, and different things, that I figure that this is what it's going to cost. And they have just sent me a very nice quote. Ooh. So I am really, really pleased.
You want to hear something from ReverseBLT that she told me last week? So she is having them print, so this is the case for more than 50 people with hundreds of cards each. She's having them
1,000 cards in one set. Yeah,
there you go. And she's found it to be cheaper to print them all in Australia and ship it from Australia to the US than have it printed in the US and shipped throughout the US.
And yeah, because if we could have got them printed in Ohio and just picked them up in Ohio, it would have been just the printing costs, no shipping, you know, for my costs. Yeah. And no, that was going to be more expensive than printing them here and shipping them. Even though it's thousands of dollars in shipping, it's cheaper to print them here.
Absolutely. I honestly absolutely am not surprised. I'm not surprised by that at all.
No. And they have just bent over backwards now that, you know, I've started having like some discussions with them and they're getting an idea of how insane this fandom is, you know, and all these pictures. We've got 40 something orders just for the 1,000 card sets. It's funny. Everybody's just going, yeah, just give me the big one. Give me the big one. So, you know, that's a lot of cards they're printing. And so what they're doing is they're helping me because there's 7 different packs of cards that I'm printing or reprinting. And so they're sort of, now they're coming to the party a bit by they're kind of giving a bit of a custom order as I'm getting a handle on just how many we need to order. So yeah,
it might, you know, you're developing a relationship with them. So if this is something that you continue in the future, you know, you'll have this relationship with them moving forward.
Yeah. And we already know. Exactly. And anyone who was at WhatCon last year knows the quality of the cards because these cards were printed by this same printer that I'm using. So they know how beautiful they are. So
all right,
Thomas,
all right. That's enough spoiling to make people really get antsy on who's going to win. Let's see. All right, here we go. So much more exciting with so many more people.
And the winner is
Darius! You know, that is so beautiful.
Okay,
so Darius,
Darius Sadai or Darius?
Darius. Oh, yeah.
I added an I.
So I'm not going to say the name again, but they are one of the yeah, right. But they are one of the organisers of WhatCon, and they did not actually buy cards. They made a really big donation. So how beautiful that in return they are getting a backpack for a substantial donation towards and so reverse BLT, if people can add extra onto their pledge or just make a donation, because we are also donating 2,000 cards to the game library at WhatCon. So and what I'm thinking with getting a slightly better price from the printer is that's going to really help me put a set of cards up on the prize table. Yeah, because you know how there's always a prize table, so that's going to help me also put cards up on the prize table. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Any that's exciting. Still in the chat, which I assume is a lot of you, should definitely be getting in on this, because I mean, like I was saying before, that this is a fandom that's starved for merch.
Oh starved for merch. Like there's none by Amazon.
I want to know about something that I'm absolutely baffled by. Amazon's non-marketing of this show has been one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. There's no merch. There's hardly any buzz that they bother generating. It's weird. On Twitter, I was saying that what I think happened there is that Wheel of Time is some specific person high up in Amazon's pet project. That one person loves the Wheel of Time, and all the other executives are like, I don't know what is this Wheel of Time nonsense. They don't care. You know what I mean? And that's why it's not being pushed. It's just this one person carrying it on their back and making sure that it at least still exists. You know what I mean?
That's Ray Judkins and Sarah Nakamura.
I don't know how high up they are in Amazon.
Yeah, I don't think they're high up in Amazon. That's the thing.
But I have to read Rapunzel's. But I have to read Rapunzel's comment, which is, "I what?"
What? Oh yeah.
I hope I pronounced that properly.
It's baffling because there's just like, I've never seen a company make so much money on the table.
There's only one thing,
and for how well it did.
Oh, I know.
In spite of how well they've promoted it, not because of, in spite of, yeah.
There was this very stealthy announcement on Direwolf, which is a gaming company, a tabletop gaming company, that there's a tabletop game coming in 2024, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I've seen, other than the rings and the remake of the sword. Those are the only things that I've seen. And like, not even like good, there's like some crappy t-shirts on Amazon. That's pretty much it. Everything else is
t-shirts. There should be plushies of Hopper. There should be sword replicas. There should be. You should be able to buy high quality versions of Rand's coat at the party.
Yep.
I mean, for crying out loud, there's so many merch opportunities,
right?
Mm-hmm. They could sell those literally for $500-$600 a pop.
Your dresses,
would still buy them.
Right? Even just her headdress, right?
Oh my God, the goth share outfit, that would be amazing.
Right? I know, right? And because I immediately went to their store. Yeah. And I immediately went to their store and I'm like, yes, I'm going to buy some, that's crap.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I just thought, nah, I can't support that garbage. It's like, I'll buy this. This is just gorgeous. So simple, gorgeous. And they couldn't even do something simple and gorgeous.
Yes. I mean, there's plenty of great creators on, that have private stuff.
Tavier and Tavern, Rob Christensen, amazing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Rob's map is amazing. And the actual fun fact, Rob's map, the original artist who did the map in the books commented on his map that she loves it.
Yeah, yeah. And his t-shirts are hilarious.
Oh, man, they're great.
They are absolutely hilarious. Yeah.
So like there was a company back in the day called Tavarin Tees that they sold t-shirts. That was all they did. They sold Wheel of Time t-shirts. They sold other stuff too, but it was mostly t-shirts, and they were really good t-shirts. They had super awesome professional artists doing all of the art, as well as all of the original official Wheel of Time artists. And they were making great t-shirts, and they got their cease and desist when Sony picked up the right. And then they did nothing with it. That's the thing that pisses me off, is that they've done nothing with it. They didn't. All of the artists, they took away all of the rights from all of the artists, all of the people that made stuff, and did nothing.
Yeah, it just going to hamstring people.
Instead of partnering with them, promoting it and making a little bit with them, they just go, stop doing it. Yeah,
I know. Licensing deal, at least, you know.
I got my cat again. He's doing
the cat is dreaming about eating us all.
Yeah, I saw him flop over, so I wanted to see what he looked like.
The cat's sleeping like a koala.
I put a little bed on my desk so that he sleeps there instead of on top of my keyboard. He goes from my lap to the bed. That's what he does. Lap bed all day.
So Thom, before we forget, did you want to do that question thing or
we're going to do that right now. So a thing that I'm going to start doing at the end of every episode is we're going to be doing basically like a short little interview with our guests. So yes, we've had our guest this entire time, and ReverseBLT has been lovely, but we didn't learn a lot about him personally. So I figured this is a good opportunity to put him a little bit on the hot seat. And I get to pay a little bit of an homage to a show that I loved as a kid, which was Inside the Actors Studio.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. You're going to be James Lipton?
James Lipton. So there was a show, that was very prolific. It was a great show. It was the Juilliard acting teacher basically would have famous actors come, and he would interview them in front of the acting students, and they were great interviews. And at the end of every one of those interviews, he would ask every single person that was on the show, or people. Sometimes he did like the entire cast of The Simpsons, like the voice actors once, but he would ask the same list of questions. So we're going to start doing that here on our show. And as ReverseBLT is traditionally now the episode 1 cherry breaker with us for our new show, you get to also pop this one and be our first interviewer for this is 11 questions, not 10, but we will you will be our first one to be subjected to our interview. All right, that's enough preamble. So for starters, what is your favorite word?
Okay, so just to let everybody know, I'm one of those people who can't really ever narrow something down just to one thing.
I feel that pain.
So
that's why I
did here. Yeah, so what I did is I basically took my list of favorite things or not favorite things or whatever, and said and came up with like sub criteria to make sense. So yeah, so
he's got spread.
This isn't. My first thought was my favorite word is in what word do I like to say, or do I like the sound of, or something like that, or what word do I like the meaning of, or whatever. I disappeared down like one of those nice little philosophical rabbit holes of pretentiousness, and I came up with the following. So I'm gonna say that my favorite word, Mr. Channeling Lipton, is possibilities.
No, that's nice.
I like it.
Like I said, I decided to get all philosophical with it. So yeah,
no, I like it.
And because of what it just all of it entails, just the word possibility,
hope, and the future and growth. There's a lot in that. I like it.
Mine's way simpler than that.
What's yours?
Stuff.
That's a good
I
word.
just love the word stuff. That's my stuff. That's stuff over there. Put that stuff here.
And your stuff is stuff, but everyone else's stuff is shit.
And at the end of the day, I'm stuffed. You know, like
George Carlin there that time.
This sounds like a Scottish joke.
That was a George Carlin bit. He was one of his tangents that he went off on.
Sorry,
Carlin's great.
They're his questions. Yep, go for it.
I like that. I like that.
The next question, and this is for both of you. What is, and we'll go with reverse first. What is your least favorite word?
This one was easier, partially because of the hole I went down for the first word, but suffering.
You already, what was it?
Suffering.
Suffering. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For obvious reasons. And now getting into the more themed portion of our questions, which is where we go into.
Wasn't when you said it was for both of us, right? So what's your?
Oh yeah, right. Sorry. Koala. Yeah, I wanted to do you first, so Koala had a chance to think about it for a second.
It's so funny.
I can go ahead and explain more about why.
It's fine. Go ahead, Koala.
Well, it's really funny because when you said what's your favorite word to reverse BLT, my brain just went, it's stuff. And then you went, what's your least favorite word? And I'm like, oh, geez, I've got to think about that. I think I'm going to go with snow. Never seen it. Never
Yeah.
want to.
Oh, good.
You can have it.
Well, listen, if you're coming
really
not in July. I was going to say
not in July. No.
Yeah, you're coming to Ohio in July.
Yeah, I'm not coming in December. No.
Hey, listen, that's why I moved to Florida.
I hear you. My theory on life is if I can't grow a banana, I don't live there.
That's fair. That's entirely fair.
So I don't even get frost. Down in the valley that I look down on, it frosts down there. But up on the high elevation I'm on, no, I've got banana trees. They grow all year round. I'm happy.
I moved from New York, Glenn. I originally
can get cold there. Yeah,
I moved here about 9 years ago. Where I was from there, about 20 miles outside the city. I lived on Long Island. I mean, it still would get really cold. I didn't live up in the mountains, but I worked outside, and it still would get cold. And especially I worked on the water, so it would get to wind chill 30 below.
You would get that wet snow from the sound.
Oh yeah. I had my jeans break once. My clothes broke.
Yeah. See, yeah, no. It's for me. That's just nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm done with that.
My
wife
bestie is from
where the air hurts our face, and then we moved. All right. Next question.
All right.
Oh, Tom, I was just letting you know my aforementioned bestie's from Setauket.
Oh, Setauket. Oh, okay. That's out on the island. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
I'm from Nassau County.
Hey, check this out. You know what his name is?
Thom.
With an H.
Perfect, Thom. I'll be Thom Prime to you. That's so when you reference
he's blonde though.
Oh, okay. I was a blonde when I was a kid. Here's when you reference us, I would like to request I be Thom Prime and he could be Suffolk Tom. There you go.
I'm gonna have to tell him about that to see what he thinks. That's hilarious.
You should. He's Suffolk Tom,
and
I'll be
Tom part would be the most hilarious part.
All right. So the next question is, and we'll just stick with the theme just so to give Koala a minute to think. What is your favorite fantasy or fictional curse word replacement, or curse word maybe just used generally?
Don't need to think about that one.
What is
go
it?
ahead. You go first.
There's milk in a cup.
That it is a good one. That's a really good
favorite. One. Yeah.
If I had to pick one from Wheel of Time, it would be pale-haired milksop.
Oh yeah, it's not bad either. And I'm bringing mother's milk to WhatCon again so that we can all drink mother's milk in a cup.
That's great.
All right, have you seen The Boys, Koala?
I have.
So I imagine that added an extra dimension to that for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Two
extra dimensions. Got to think about it. Yeah, because we got the character Mother's Milk, and we have our friend who's a little fixated on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a
Oh
creeper.
man. He's a perfect example of how
Yeah.
nurture
Yeah.
can go really wrong.
Yes.
It was a bit traumatic. I do admit,
If you're gonna make a Superman, you got to make sure you raise him right.
For real.
I've watched Gen V as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers. That
It's
was
good.
That one, I
It's
still
good.
haven't managed to get around to it.
just mentioned because you asked and I watched the boys. So, yeah.
I just get used to
sad
mentioning
now,
it now because, like, you know, as we talked about before, people get excited and they might flip.
But I got to say, rip to rest in peace to Chance Perdomo. He passed away. He was one of the actors in Gen
The
V.
Boys?
Yeah.
In Gen V. That's
V,
sad.
So
he was
pretty
also
young.
in. If anyone watched the new Sabrina, he played her uncle,
Okay.
or whatever. Yeah, he was great.
So,
anyway, all right. So the next question, and the next question is, what is an everyday sound that you love?
Well, first I have to answer the previous one.
Oh, you didn't answer it? Oh, my bad. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all right. So this one was a little easier for me, though. Okay. I did decide to go with 2 instead of 1.
That's fine.
They're both from the same series, though.
Okay.
It's just because I love both of these words. They're both from Farscape.
Oh, shit.
The first,
I love Farscape.
The first one, of course, is just Frel, because Frel is just great. I love it when Aaron says "Frel me sideways" in the rain or something like that. I think that's how she said it. Like,
yeah.
But like, there's one that Rigel likes to use, and I think he's like the only one who ever really says it, and I just love it. It's Farbot, but he amplifies it. Yeah, I think he's the only person who ever says this in the entire run of the series. Magra Farbot.
Okay.
And I just thought Magra Farbot was one of the most ridiculous fake curse words that I ever heard.
Farscape.
So it just stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But Farscape, of course, is full of awesome imaginary curse words. That show is great.
And just the characters also, like Jim Henson. Fuck it, forget it. All right. We have to keep going, or we'll be here all night. What is an everyday sound that you love?
Basically, just, I don't know how to really describe this one. Nature, kinda, just like.
Okay, but when you say nature, where?
More specifically,
what biome are you in?
So, like, when you go out to the woods and there's a nice sort of creek going through it.
Okay.
That kind of ambient sound. So, like, the sound of the bubbling water and the songbirds, like, softly singing off in the distance,
twittering,
and the wind going through the trees, and it gets that rustly sound. That whole vibe, I love that sound.
Okay. See, when you said nature, my immediate thought was the beach, because that's what I grew up on. I grew up in a beach town, so that was my.
When I think of a beach, all I can hear are seagulls, and I hate that noise.
That's right.
All I hear right now.
Oh God! They're just rats with wings. I hate them.
They really are.
Yeah. All right. And what about you, Koala?
Well, it's a sound that I wake up to every morning, and it never fails to bring a smile to my face, and that's a kookaburra laughing. It is just one of my favorite sounds, and I don't know if you've ever heard a laughing kookaburra, but it sounds like somebody laughing hysterically.
I feel like I have.
It's so funny. It's like it's such an Australian. Yeah, it's such an Australian sound. We have to look it up on the internet. What does a laughing kookaburra sound like? And it is literally like somebody just uncontrollably laughing hysterically.
That's like, I'm almost certain I have heard it. And yeah, I would imagine that if it's the sound I'm thinking of, that it definitely would bring a smile to your face.
And I'm not doing it.
It's like a kind of sound, right?
That's how it starts, and then it just gets more and more hysterical. Yeah.
I actually found a video, and I'm gonna try to see if I could share it and play it.
I want to hear it.
Okay. And then we'll go ahead and present. Okay. do the sound, I need to share my entire screen.
And yes, there is a song.
And then I'm gonna mute us while I play it.
I can
Every day I wake up. Every day I wake up to that, and it just never fails to you just smile. You go.
That's fantastic. Like I don't know if I would be terrified.
No.
Or be fantastic, because it does sound like that last bit. Like if it would have continued with that last bit,
it just goes on and on. I know.
It would sound like a human laughing, and that would have been a little.
It does. It does.
I'm just thinking that it probably gave.
Does it only do it in the morning, or does it also do it at night?
Oh yeah, at night. Yeah, so the early morning, late at night, and they start before the sun comes up. So kind of like your rooster crowing. But you got to remember, it's like it's outside in. I'm on a property, so it's not like it feels like it's in your house and it's going to get you. And they are amazing. They're young. Stay with the parents for a year after they hatch from the eggs and help raise the new young. So awesome. They're young, don't get to leave home, until they've raised the generation that came after them. And they're amazing family structures.
So they have older child and younger child and middle child syndrome, like in Asian families. That's interesting.
Yeah, and they grieve something terrible, like occasionally, one will get hit by a car and it's just horrible, because the whole family will, spend 24 hours just sitting around the dead one, just grieving. It's just horrible.
That's horrible.
They're amazing animals, those kookaburras.
And that's just another point on why seagulls are terrible, because they don't give a crap when another one dies. They eat it because they're hard.
Yeah.
All right, maybe that's their way of honoring their dead.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all right. Next question.
Well, the seagulls are the cleanup crew. Like, actually, if you didn't have seagulls, the rotting stench.
Yeah, I know.
Around the ocean, you know what I mean? And so, like, we don't like them, but they, in their ecosystem, they do have a place. Oh, and one last fun fact: the kookaburra is the largest kingfisher in the world.
Ah, that's interesting.
There you go.
All right, but Reverse, what about you? What's your favorite sound? Everyday sound.
He told us. It's the babbling brook in the forest with the birds twittering. And,
you go off on tangents and my brain deletes things.
Yeah, brain shits.
All right. Whatever Disney princess hears every day. That's my favorite sound, apparently.
Here's how my brain works. You told that nice. You gave me that nice answer about the bubbling brook and the nature and. You know what I remembered? I remembered forgetting to ask you the other question last time, because that was me being bad. But that's what I remembered. So I was making.
And so you're making up for it, yeah.
All right. Anyway, next question is: what is your least favorite sound, or an everyday sound that you don't like?
Easiest in the world to answer. The sound I hate most in every incarnation I've ever had on every plane of existence throughout all of the multiverse. It is metal scraping metal.
Oh,
I hate that is
true.
With a white hot fury.
I could see that.
Hate it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing my leg just because I made myself think about it.
Yep. Now you're getting the goose pimples.
Hate that sound.
Oh no.
What about you, Koala?
It's actually really hard to beat that metal scraping kind of sound, isn't it? I think my other least favorite sound is the sirens. So if I hear the ambulance siren coming, I know that there's been a car crash down on a particular bad spot of the road, and when it's followed by another one, and I know there's like 2 ambulances and the police going, it's, it's just chilling. You just think, oh my God, somebody's life has just completely changed.
Yeah.
Yep.
No matter what the answer is, even if it's just car damage, that's a lot of money. It doesn't even have to be, terminal.
But you also have that, the PTSD after a crash as well. So even if you've only damaged your car, that can often, impact you for a while. Yeah.
All right. So the next questions and ReverseBLT had the advantage of reading these prior, but these books,
I'm noticing that.
but so these next questions apply to the fictional. So like basically a character from a TV show, a character from a movie, a book series, a video game, whatever you want, to answer this. Okay. So who would make the best partner or spouse, and why?
So it was very much evil of you to make me choose. But there is one who does rise above all others.
Okay.
In all fandoms.
All right.
So it was doable, and that is Death of the Endless.
Okay.
Death of the Endless is Bay of Bays. So, Death of the Endless is from the technically from DC Comics, period. But actually, fun fact, super technically from DC and Marvel Comics, because canonically, DC and Marvel Comics are actually 2 sets of multiverses that are actually mirrors
in the same. Yeah.
Yes, and they actually share the same creation and everything. It's just sort of split off. So death is death, period, across all of DC and Marvel. But the incarnation that I'm talking about is the prime incarnation of all deaths across all of those things, which is Death of the Endless. Mainly featured in the Sandman mythos. She is one of the primordial forces of existence. Second born, quote unquote, entity of reality, who basically, the moment that everything began to have a destiny, everything needed to die.
Okay.
And that's why death exists. But death, despite having what many people would think of as the worst job of any concept that it could exist, is one of the, I can't even say one of. Death is the kindest, most loving and compassionate being you could possibly imagine. Like the way Neil Gaiman imagined death is just so beautiful, and
I love that.
She has, and you see behind me this little fakey background that the thing. So all of the Endless, as befitting what they are, they have domains, they have realms, right? That interface with each other and with all facets of reality and represent them. Dreams is the largest because it's the amalgamation of everything's dreams and fantasies throughout all of reality. Death's domain is a little cottage with a big overstuffed easy chair and a little table that she always has a little cuppa on, ready to go at any moment. She sits there and she reads. She's got a little cat, and she's got her little tea.
So how does that make her a good spouse, though?
The compassionate part was probably
it's the whole thing. It's just like, so each of the Endless, and this is probably a minor spoiler, but one of the things that's fascinating
I've seen
about
that.
Endless. Okay, so each of them represents what they represent. What they do is essentially oppositional to who they are. So Death's domain is all things ending, all things dying, including the universes themselves, right? But Death is the one that's the most in love with life. Death is the one that cares about the living the most out of all of the Endless. And Death makes a point of being there for everyone, no matter where she finds them. And there's like a group of kids, for instance, they're immortal because death forgot to take them. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. You know, it's like she loves everyone so much. And you can tell from her domain what she wants she wants things to be peaceful, to be contented. She wants that moment where she wants the moment where you don't realize what's happening. You know, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I would think that, like, I remember when I first confronted the notion of being with someone forever. You know what I mean? Because we always had that idea of, like, you know, people like to talk about spirits and souls and soulmates and all these other sorts of things, and like somehow being with someone for all eternity, right? And eternity is such a gigantic concept, you know, like humans don't really have a good idea of that. Yeah. And so, like, if it was true that if you found someone and truly became one with them in that kind of a relationship, and that meant that you were going to be with them literally forever, time immemorial, I think that, yeah, you would want someone like her.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Cool. What about you, Koala?
That answer.
Oh, thank you.
How about you, Koala?
That's your turn, Koala.
Oh, mine's so much more simple than that. I'll go first, Samwise Gamgee.
Oh, that's
good
a good
choice.
Same vein.
Right.
Same vein,
yeah.
I would say.
Good choice.
Yeah.
That is a good choice. He is
I don't even have to explain why, you know. No, I mean, it's just
and he is basically Frodo's husband.
And he can cook. He can cook good too.
Yeah, right. I know. Really, he's got it all. He can garden. He'll look after you. He'll go the extra mile. Yep. He can cook. I mean, hey.
He'll fight a gigantic spider. He'll, you know, like,
yeah, nothing will stop that man. You know, and because the other one therefore would have had to be Perrin, because, you know, he will do anything to save his wife. Yeah. But I think Samwise Gamgee.
I'm not going to go
off
on too much of a
They're the same person. They're the same character
absolutely.
Anyway. You know,
absolutely.
So, yeah.
I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent about
was on my list, but I haven't finished the series yet, so I wasn't sure if I should put her in too much in your run. But Fael was on my list.
But
that's why I don't know about Fael, but I'll take Perrin. Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about Perrin, mainly because, like, his character is like Matt, Rand, and Perrin are basically like all could have been the Dragon Reborn. And like Robert Jordan kind of like makes that out from the beginning. Like they were all born at the same time. They were all blah, blah, blah. So,
only one
but it's Rand. And it's Rand because Perrin would sacrifice everything for the person that he loves.
Yeah, Perrin might not have made it.
No, he would burn the world down for fighting.
That's right. That's right.
Matt,
yeah,
just doesn't want anything to do with it. Like he'll do it if he's forced into it, but he doesn't want.
Yeah, exactly.
But Rand is the one that understands to put everything else before himself.
Yeah.
And in turn, everybody else. Like, you know, if he's putting it in front of himself, it's in front of his own wants and desires. So he would let one of his, you know, people, not getting spoilery with the Wheel of Time, but he would let one of, you know, like his people die if it meant to save the world. Like if he had to, if there was no, he would fight it.
If it came to the crunch and the choice, he would.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Not that he wants to, but he would. Yeah, whereas not Perrin. She's my wife.
Yeah, I know. Who would make the worst spouse or partner? Go ahead.
Go first on this one.
Oh yeah. I want you to go first for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this one might take a minute.
This one, I decided that I wanted to do two.
Okay.
One was super obvious, came to me right away. But there was a runner-up who I thought needed to be mentioned. So the runner-up is Morgoth would be a terrible spouse.
The Balrog.
Fortunately, he's all the way out there in the outer dark or whatever. So
I mean, the Balrog, simply because you would never be able to keep the house clean. It would just be always, there'd be burn marks all over the floor.
Also, like, I feel like it would be a little too late to have the conversation about the fact that I don't swing that way with the Balrog, and I don't know if he'd be receptive to hearing it.
As if the Balrog would care about that.
Exactly, right?
Horrible nightmare creatures of flame and shadow don't do it for you.
They existed before there was such a thing as sex anyway, so they don't care.
All right.
But yeah, so the runner-up is her Royal Highness Empress Regent Alia Atreides of House Atreides.
Okay.
Because as much as I adore that poor little thing, she is utterly and 100% batshit insane. And has superpowers. So
a little like a Zula.
Yeah, she's like a Zula on steroids, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that Azula's voices aren't actually real.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Alia's voices, unfortunately, are really there. So, somewhat major spoilers.
Let's not spoil because the movies are new. So.
Yeah, I was just saying I won't elaborate further. But yeah. Speaking of which, am I right in assuming that that's who Anya Taylor-Joy is playing?
I think so.
Because the minute I saw her, I was like, okay, she's playing Alia, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's Alia. I mean, look at the eyes for crying.
Yeah, definitely.
That's Alia.
Yeah,
but
I thought so.
Alia, if I have children one day, there will be a child named for her because she is one of my favorite female characters of all time. But yeah, she would be a horrible wife. Like absolutely horrible. Okay, so she is Alia. Okay. That's what I was thinking. But number one, and I think you guys will all agree that there can be no worse spouse.
Okay.
Dolores motherfucking Umbridge.
Oh my God. You're not wrong.
Literally the first person I thought of. The first person when I read that question, I didn't even have to think for a second. I was like, Dolores Umbridge. Absolutely Dolores Umbridge.
One of the coldest people, most horrible people in all of fantasy properties.
But worse than that, the type of cold that thinks it's warm.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean?
There's a particular scene in one of the movies that really drove me over the edge. And it's the fact that, so not to get too crunchy into Harry Potter lore, you know, I just want to make this statement real simple. Fuck J.K. Rowling. But anyway.
Absolutely. Bad people
absolutely.
Can write some good stories,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of problematic stuff in them too, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Horrible people can write some good stuff.
Yeah. So in one of the movies, though, when she's proceeding over a trial where she's like condemning people to death simply because they're not 100% wizardly born, she's able to summon a Patronus, which you can only do based on like the feelings of joy and happiness. And
you have to be able to channel your happiest memories.
Yeah. And so she's doing that in the moment when she's condemning people to death because they're
she's a great look at true evil. Like the true evil often thinks it's good. You know what I mean? Like she believes all the horrific things she does are good. You know? And that's what makes her so dangerous.
She's horrible.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Koala?
Did it have to be from fantasy, or could it
be from
a
any
dystopian fiction?
Any fictional character from any movie, any book, any video game, anything you want.
Well, I don't think you could get much worse than Fred Waterford from The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
I
haven't read that since I was like 10, so I don't remember like anything.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was one of the commanders who put the whole system into place. So how's that for a bad spouse? And of course, his wife, wrote most of the whole concept of how women would be, without realizing that then he'd put it in place and she'd be out the back door. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, like totally even sacrificed his wife. And one of my favorite quotes of his in the show is, better doesn't mean better for everyone.
I could not watch the show. That's a great quote, but I could not watch the show. It was just too depressing. I watched
too real.
Yeah.
It is matching.
Especially now,
It is matching so many real world situations with every season that comes out.
It's terrifying.
I'm quite
close to...
and I think it's really different for women to watch it as for men to watch it. For women, it can be the most empowering thing to watch it and to actually see that representation. And for men, it can be confronting in, you know, a really big way. So it's interesting.
It was mainly just non-consensual scenes that I just hate. I can't watch it. There was too many of them. And it just was too depressing for me to watch. But anyway.
Well, you know. I guess you kind of got to keep plowing through
I couldn't get past the first episode.
I know. But Elizabeth Moss is amazing.
She's great.
She's a great actress.
I love all the actors in that show.
She is, and she's so involved in it. I see interviews with the cast about Elizabeth Moss, and then I see interviews with the Wheel of Time cast about Rosamund Pike. And it's such a parallel. Elizabeth Moss is the Rosamund Pike, you know, of that show, the way she's bringing inexperienced actors along and doing so much of the background writing and producing and directing. Yeah.
Okay.
So, that one brought it down. But you asked for the worst spouse.
No,
there you go.
That's fair.
Fred
no,
Wood.
that's fair. Absolutely.
The other one would be Regal. What was it? Farseer from Robin Hobb's fantasy trilogy. Yeah. He is very lucky he never had a spouse.
Yeah.
He would be the worst too.
What series was that?
Regal Farseer out of Robin Hobb's books. Her Elderling, what's the whole set called? The Elderling Chronicles. It's a set of like 13 or 14. It is my second favorite fantasy series, very close to Wheel of Time, except I've only reread it about 6 or 7 times, not 50, 60, 70.
Yeah. Wheel of Time is still going to be at the top. The Wheel of Time is going to be at the top of that list for me for a long time. I haven't reread a lot. There's only one other fantasy series that I've reread more than once or more than twice, and it's Iron Druid Chronicles. But
okay.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Anyway,
obviously, if you've reread it more than once.
Yeah, well, it's just another way I listen. So I'll put it on. Like, since I know the series already, I'll put on the audiobook and have it playing in the background when I'm doing stuff. But anyway, okay, let's keep going. The next question is a fictional character from any property that you had a crush on. Or that is a crush for you, like a school, like not.
I know. There's so many. No, I was doing that because it's like, there's so many.
Well, you got to pick one.
This
Matt.
That could go on forever.
Yeah, you got to pick one though. Just one this time. Matt. Okay. You and Maria.
I'm a Matt girl. Perrin would be the spouse, but Matt's the one that I had the crush on.
Okay, so that's it. So Matt's Igloo, Perrin's Mary, and then who are you bail firing?
Well, if you're going to do the 3 boys, sorry, Rand, you're going to have to go. If it's a choice, that's
fair. All right, what about you, Reverse?
So I can only choose one.
Just one. Just one. For the sake of our viewers, who for some of them it's getting late.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Only choosing one. I will choose Aaron Sun.
Oh, what's up, Hiltrude?
Peacekeeper Commando, Aaron Sun.
Okay. From
Farscape.
From Farscape. Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When you said Peacekeeper, my brain went Hunger Games, and I would just like going through all the characters.
Even down to the same color scheme, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, gray and white. Yeah, and red. The okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. And what about you, Koala?
I'll take a second one, and I'll say the other one's Avienda.
You did say Matt.
And the second one would be Avienda.
Avienda. Ooh,
I mean,
yeah. I love her. I love Ayula.
Spicy meatball.
Yeah, I mean, I love Avienda in the books, but Ayula's portrayal of her has been great.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see more opportunity for her to really flex into the character.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of what happens. Down the road from.
Oh yeah. All right. Next one. If given the opportunity to assume a vocation or align with any kind of faction or group from or a profession from any fantasy, science fiction property ever. Yep. Which one would you want to be? You can only pick one. So I'll give Reverse the opportunity to answer first because that's a deep one, and he's had a week to think about it. So
a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you get it just from this.
Snapping, were you going to be a Titan from the Avengers?
Nope.
What?
Far bigger. I would be one of the Q.
Oh, the Q. Okay. I forgot about Q. It's been a while since I watched.
Don't need to snap their fingers, but they're a theatrical fucking.
They're
bunch.
Theatrical, so they do. One of the Q. All right, that's a good one.
They literally don't need to do anything, but they're a theatrical bunch.
They're theatrical.
They're theater nerds with god powers. That's what they are.
That's true. That's absolutely true. All right. On the spot, Koala, what do you got?
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to go back to Robin Hobb, and I'd like to be an elderling.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up.
The dragon, the dragon lore in that series, just, yeah.
So being an elderling in the Robin Hobb universe, what would that entail?
So you live in the cities where the dragons are, and you end up taking on a lot of dragon-like attributes, such as scaling and the cresting, and you live very long lives. As a result, you can hear the dragons speaking. So some people just hear and other people can hear what they're saying. And so you can converse with the dragons, and they have all that amazing magic stuff, in their cities, all of the jitsun, and yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
The flame jewels and all of that. So yeah,
I really need to read Robin Hobb. I've been meaning to read her for years, and I just haven't.
Oh, it is.
I've never even heard of her.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's really quite amazing. And yeah, I can't say anything because of spoilers, but yeah, there's just one of the really big pretexts of that world that comes out and what's going on.
Hopefully I can read some of her books for WatCon, and then we can chat about it.
I'd love that.
I'm looking up the book titles and covers and everything. I've literally never.
That's crazy because she's pretty prolific.
Never seen or heard of any of this.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there you go, and
and they're from like the 90s. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like if the two of you wanted to read them and you wanted to have some chatties about them, I'd be very into it.
I didn't get into reading like for fun until like high school because I was severely dyslexic and I couldn't read.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But
most of my reading is audiobook now because that's the original storytelling anyway.
I didn't even know audiobooks existed until I got into Wheel of Time and I discovered that they existed.
Gleeman are a thing.
Yeah. Well, my parents weren't very big. Like my mom read what is it? Dan Brown and Stephen King and things like that.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
But my dad doesn't read. And they weren't into the fantasy stuff. And so I never really got into it. But I remember when I first started getting into the Wheel of Time, and it took me a year to read the first book because I just didn't want to, because I was afraid to try.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, all right.
Ooh, fun backstories. Yeah.
All right. What is a job? So we just thought about jobs and groups to belong to in fantasy, science fiction, and everything. What's one that you would never want to be a part of?
So I'm going to bring it back to the endless again.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Good.
I wouldn't want to be despair.
Okay. That's good. I mean, yeah, that's a good choice. Having to constantly deal with that, and yeah.
That one's probably pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You said, Koala, you've seen just the show, or have you read any of the comics for the Sandman?
The Sandman.
Yeah, I've only seen the show.
Okay, so despair in the show is the one thing that I will criticize the show and say they did not do justice to.
Okay.
It's the one thing. They toned despair way down.
Interesting.
I mean, way down. I'm hoping that's something they'll correct in season 2, because Neil Gaiman himself, unprompted, even came out and said that's his big regret from season 1. He didn't go hard enough with despair. Yeah. I mean, imagine your entire existence basically being on the other side of every mirror while beings are at the lowest point of their life.
Which is horrible.
That's essentially
yeah.
And I would hate having that job, to be the being responsible for overseeing the pain of every living thing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What about you, Koala?
Trollocs. I would not want to be one of the Trollocs. Thanks. Those Trolloc women, the female Trollocs in particular, don't have a good life.
in their whole hierarchy of peoples.
All right, so Trollocs are Tleilatsu, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so the last one is a bit deep, so you might need a minute.
Might need a minute.
Yeah. So the James Lipton one is so for Marasu and Hiltrud, what we're doing now is an interview portion of our show, and I'm basing it on the Inside the Actor Studio interview questions that James Lipton would do at the end of his interviews. And the last one that he would do is, when you died and you got to heaven, what would you want to say to St. Peter at the pearly gates? Which is obviously a little too Christian centric for me. So I changed it, my version of the question to, with respect to all of the world's religions, but wanting to focus specifically on fantasy, science fiction depictions of any kind of afterlife. What is an afterlife from a science fiction, fantasy, anything fictional property, which could be based on a real, religion, but is depicted in this fictional property, that you would want to be real, that you would like to experience?
Okay. Knowing that it's fictional makes it easier, because I actually thought that you were asking about real.
No.
That could get tricky.
As mentioned earlier, I also studied religion, so that made the question harder for me, because I'm literally going back through hundreds of stories in my head trying to think of which one. I was like, oh, well, that one sounds kind of cool. But it's like, oh, wait, but no, you get dismembered at the end of every day in that one. So no, maybe this one said, oh, wait, no, the world ends every day because a giant snake eats it. Okay, how about you just keep going and going and going. But if we're talking about fictional depictions,
depictions. It doesn't have to be, it could be like in Supernatural. They depict it's a Christian
fictionalized, extra fictionalized, I would say, version of
fictionalized mythology, real world mythology. So that works.
I've got mine.
It'll be
if
the
you
same
need to
vein.
think about it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I already know. I have an answer immediately.
All right, great.
That it doesn't have to be rooted specific, it doesn't have to be from an actual scripture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of some kind. The version of heaven I put it in quotes because it is only loosely based on Judeo-Islam. That is in What Dreams May Come.
Oh, okay.
That to me is if there is something like a heaven that awaits us, that to me seems like the only way that it could work without actually being some kind of hell.
Okay. And just for, anyone who hasn't seen it, quick, what attracts you to it?
So basically, in What Dreams May Come, everyone's heaven is essentially a pocket universe in which their greatest, most happy dreams happen all the time in whatever way they want forever. They're free to make of that world what they want. They can visit other people in their worlds whenever they want. They can visit other planes of reality whenever they want. They can visit God or whatever whenever they want. They're free to go, do whatever. But it's a reality that they control in which happiness is the rule. They can always be happy, but it's not someone else's happiness being forced upon them. It's not someone else's idea of what is good and what is right and how they should be forever. It's their own idea. It's like basically it's being able to be a child forever. And to me, that's what heaven would be.
Okay. What about you, Koala?
It's not too dissimilar because I was thinking of Terry Pratchett's Discworld.
Okay.
Where the belief was like when you died, whatever you believed would happen after you died is what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
but does the luggage get to come with you?
Depends,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
By the way, I haven't read that whole series yet either. But
I've got a few missing holes in it. Yeah.
Well, I that was one that I didn't want to read for. I wanted to read it, but I didn't know where to start because that was the problem. It's like no one could tell me.
I just read them all over the place.
I can't do that. Like I need.
I understand your. I understand your.
I have to.
I understand.
I'm not one of those people who can open a book in the middle and read it and then.
But it doesn't follow one story all the way through. You can literally just,
I know.
read it all
That's
over
what
the
made
place.
it so hard for me to read it because I was like, well, where do I start? And everyone was like, oh, just grab a book and go. I was like, I can't
just
do
go
that.
anywhere.
But from what I think I've read 3 or 4 of them at this point. And what I will say is
okay.
The luggage is one of the greatest characters I have ever seen.
Absolutely.
I love the luggage so much. It is bar none my favorite character in the series so far.
The fact that Death rides a horse named Binky
is fantastic.
Death is number 2. Death is number 2.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Death riding a horse named Binky is pretty cool.
There's speaking of on the vein of back to audiobooks real quick. Wow, his name just left my brain. Fucking reading Rainbow.
Oh, LeVar Burton.
LeVar Burton. Wow, my brain just deleted him from all. Of anyway,
my brain does that all the time.
The Q.
Yeah. LeVar Burton has a thing where he reads short stories, and he read a short story from Discworld that was really good, and he has them published for free on his website. If you Google LeVar Burton reading short stories, you'll find it. It was fantastic. You should check it out, especially if you like Discworld. It was a weird short, I forgot which one it was. It was a weird short story that really had nothing to do with anything. It was self-contained, but it does touch on some of the characters, but no spoilery kind of stuff in it.
Anyway, get back in that series at some point, though. What little I did read was fantastic, and I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it is really fun.
Well, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad we started doing this interview thing. I'm definitely going to keep doing it. This is good. And then what we need to do? We need to compile everyone's answers somewhere and put them somewhere.
Put them in a giant spreadsheet on the
That's
internet.
a good idea. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
you can always have
find
a
out who
spreadsheet.
the weirdest people are.
We won't kink shame. No kink shaming here.
We can do a sampling too, because I guarantee you we're gonna find that there are certain people who come up over and over again.
And over again, especially in this group. I want to see how many times people bring up Wheel of Time characters.
Oh, you're just lucky that I was limited to like only season 1. Seriously, because my list of crushes is deep.
Oh, I know.
And not all of them are human.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, we don't kink shame here.
I'm actually glad I didn't have a week to work it out.
They, thems, and the furries. We love them all.
I'm glad I didn't have a week on it, because I would have. I would have
questions for a week, but I didn't actually spend a week doing it because, like, I've had classes. I've had IT classes all day, basically,
in life
for the past week and a half. So, like, I saw them. And I said, "Oh, I got to remember to think about those." And then I think about doing it. He sent me an email saying, "Oh, hey, did you see those questions I sent you?" I was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm supposed to think about those."
It was more just you don't even need to pre-answer them. It was more just I don't want to blindside people with questions. Yeah.
Unless it's me.
Questions, though.
Some people need time. Some people need a lot of time with questions like that, and I don't want to blindside people. But yeah. So anyway. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the interview portion. Koala, congratulations on Uber funding your Kickstarter. It was fantastic.
Thank you. It's been so much fun.
Round of applause.
Yeah. And Reverse, like you said, you're doing 3-body problem.
Yes.
So when is your
problem
next?
Everyone's upset with me, I'm sure, at the moment, because I'm essentially kind of blue balling the entire fandom at the moment, because episode 5 of 3-body problem, for those of you who have seen the whole season, episode 5 is the one that everyone is waiting for my reaction for. I can guarantee you that. And that's the one that I have not released yet because I've been busy with school.
Okay. Is it what stage are we in? Have you recorded yet? Are you editing? Or?
Oh no, I've recorded all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was on the whole season weeks ago, but like I've just I just haven't been able to finish editing them because I'm one of those people who kind of it's really hard for me to stay out of my own way when I'm editing.
That's fair.
Like I get really focused on trying to make like perfect edits, and it becomes what should only take me maybe like 3 or 4 hours ends up literally taking half a day because I start getting way too obsessed with the different edits. Fair. And then, of course, people don't even watch half of it and all that. But, hey, that's just the way it works. And then, of course, I also, if Koala, if you do end up watching any of my reactions, this for anybody else who's still in chat, too. If you guys come and you decide to watch some of my reactions and the older ones and everything, at some point, I started putting in little jokes at the end that I call the parting gag, which is really, I just sort of take like a clip. This is sort of to reward people who actually watch through the outro. Yeah. But like at the very end, I'll put like a little clip riffing on something. Like, for instance, there was an episode of The Last of Us where I turned the discovery of what was going on in that one town run by the creepy preacher guy. I turned it into I basically spliced it together with a Hamburger Helper commercial.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I made a Hamburger Helper commercial out of what was happening in that town.
Just think Silent Green if you haven't seen The Last of Us.
So episode 5, what I want to do, just as a sneak peek for what I do finally get around to it, the parting gag for that one, I want to be based around another commercial. But this time, as a hint for all the people who know what happens in this episode, based around those commercials we used to get for home appliances that slice and dice and julienne fries.
Oh God. That's terrible.
But yes, it's a fantastic show, by the way. I can't wait to read the books because I've heard the books are also very good. Honestly, so Glenn, I always approach things like this. The only time I will go book first is if I've already read the books. You know what I mean? So like if it was unavoidable. So like with Dune, for instance, I started reading that series because my mom basically gave me the books when I was a little kid. Same thing with Handmaid's Tale, which is why I don't remember it, because she literally was like, read this, and I was like 9. So
wow.
That's what I always tell people. I'm living proof that what a kid gets exposed to in terms of fiction and everything will not fuck them up. It's not what you read. No, it's not. I'm serious. It's not what you read or see or whatever that fucks you up. It's how the adults around you contextualize what you read or see.
Yes, that makes
like, you know.
And that's true.
And yes, I am fucked up, but not from those things.
and not in that horrible way.
Things. But so Glenn, my general rule is I will go in. I think a lot of people will say it in terms of what they see as quality, and I don't usually see it that way. Like I honestly think that people generally try to put in their best effort regardless of what they're making. So like an adaptation is usually going to be their best effort at telling that story, just like the book was the author's best effort. So I don't usually see it as in terms of better or worse to better. But I will say is that I try to go in order of increasing depth, because their visual media just does not lend itself to the same kind of depth that you can get from written stories. Written stories, you can get internal monologues, you can get like all sorts of like exposition layered alongside dialogue that's happening that you just cannot do in visual media. Visual media, you can do exposition and such in different ways, but you just can't do it at that same level of deep complexity. So I usually like to go with the more surface level. What can I see? What can they present from what I can see? And then get into the, okay, now what's going on behind all of this? What's going on in the characters' heads? Blah blah blah. So I would say if that resonates with you, if you think of stories in a similar way, watch the show first. It does seem like though you might want to, if you decide to watch the 10-cent adaptation of Three Body, it seems like you should go like this: Netflix version, read the first book, 10-cent version. Okay. You know? Because the 10-cent version apparently is almost like slavishly loyal to the book. Like they did the best they could to be like a 1-to-1 representation. And I find that kind of adaptation usually is better appreciated after the fact. You know what I mean?
After you read the books. Yeah, that's fair.
Exactly.
I mean, for me, I want to, like, I've already read the book. I want a different take on things. That's where I get excited about it. Like it's not that it's bad or good. It's more just like, personally for me, I've already read the book. I'm going to see this film now or TV show, and I want something else. I want so and so's version of this story, and I want to see how you think of these things and adapt them. That's what I was excited about for Wheel of Time. That's why I'm enjoying the show so much. But
that's one of the things I enjoy about adaptations. Adaptations are based on stuff I already know about. I like it when they can change certain things up so that I don't know exactly what's coming. Which is the thing I've been repeating since Amazon announced they were making the show, which was I get to be excited about the Wheel of Time again. Like I get to be, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat trying to listen to what's going to happen. I get to have both experiences when it comes to that one. Because
I know, because you're reading the book now for the first time, and I'm very jealous of people that are just starting out on the series.
Yeah. But what I'll say is for Three Body, I have been following, if you know, what is it, catch-up packets. They've been reacting to it, and one of them has read the books and the other one hasn't.
Okay, that's an interesting dynamic.
The only thing though is I've actually paused watching their reactions for a little bit, because the one who has read the books is unfortunately that type who gets a little too excited. It starts dropping little spoilers. And so like I kind of had to pause for a second, because he started getting a little too into, I was like, wait, no, okay, I'm gonna come back to you. But it is just the reason I brought them up though is from the one who's read the books, I can tell the series definitely has diverged significantly in little significant ways from the books, but he seems to like the changes. Like for instance, the 5 main characters that you follow in the show are apparently mostly split off from one character in the books. So they basically just took that person's 5 core traits and kind of divided them up into different people.
That's interesting.
Pretty much don't exist. So from what I've heard anyway, it might only be 4. And the show moves faster than the book plot moves.
Okay.
People have commented on that, but so far no one's been upset with it that I've seen. They've liked the faster.
I have not seen a negative review about it other than.
Oh, I have.
Oh well, I mean, not like I've seen toxic people, but I haven't seen like honest, good critiques of negative experiences of it. I've seen toxic
people. 2
people.
Categories I've seen so far of negative reviews for it are, of course, the toxic people who fuck them. We don't care what they say. But like the other group, which may have some validity, but I can't judge until I read the books and stuff, are the folks who mostly are from China, who feel like the Netflix series really just failed to capture the essence of the story and its origins in China.
As long as they don't get what we call in the Wheel of Time community book cloaky about it, then that's fine.
Some of them seem to be a little bit, but yeah, you know. That's one of those things, though, I figure I can't possibly judge the validity of, because obviously I grew up in the United States. I fundamentally am missing some touchstones culturally there that I will not be able to interface with it the same way they do. But I will say it is a fascinating story. They do some really interesting, even though definitely some bullshitty things with science. But it's bullshit that's it's the kind of science bullshit where you know that the author knows that he's bullshitting. You know what I mean? Which is a very different thing. It's like in The Expanse, you know, where it's like you can tell that the writers know that this is bullshit. They're not just pulling it out of their ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. They know the science, the physics rules that they are deliberately fudging. They know why it's fudging, and they're doing it deliberately. And I felt the same thing with 3-Body Problem, where you could look at it and say, okay, this is not how physics works, but I can see what you're doing here, and I can tell that you know that this isn't, at least as far as we know, isn't how physics works. You know, so I always appreciate that. Well, hey, I see. Oh my God, you look so fluffy. Like sometimes you see an animal, you can just imagine how
grab it and you rub it on your face.
Feel. Oh my goodness, it's like a walking pile of cashmere.
He really is. He's so cute.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, the short answer is we don't know. You don't know when the next one's coming out, so you're going to continue to blue ball everything.
Yes. I will say though that the next series, and that's the sad part, is that I always know what I'm doing next. The problem is I don't necessarily know exactly.
Oh, so what show are you doing next? Okay.
Yeah, but the next show is going to be Fallout, because that was what I planned to do. I initially thought that I would get through 3-Body Problem in literally like a week, and then be able to jump into Fallout before it had been out too long. But obviously that didn't happen. And then after that, I don't really know. We'll figure that out when we get there.
Okay. Okay. I really enjoyed Fallout a lot.
That's good. Because that's one of those ones where I've played like one full game and parts of some of the other ones. And it's one of those series where, like, for some bizarre reason, I know a lot about the lore despite not having played all the games.
Forget about, like, the lore is great and Fallout and stuff like that. But even just completely disregard all of the backstory and lore within Fallout. The show is just a good show. It was just it was entertaining. I had fun with it. The characters are good. The acting was great. The
trailers impressed the hell out of me. So I was definitely expecting good things.
The only issue that I took with it was that I feel like they got a little too gore happy with it, but you know, like it's not too prevalent. Like they didn't dial it up and like the boys. It wasn't as bad as the boys, where it's just like every 5 seconds one's getting torn in half. And
well, Tom, it made me think about the fact that when they did drop the trailers, the one series that they made sure to name drop in those trailers was The Boys.
Yeah.
And that's a great example of a good trailer, because they were setting expectations.
Yeah, they set them and they met them.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And also, and this was one of those things that really was funny, is that one of the criticisms I saw of the first trailer was that they I think it was the first trailer, was that they put that joke in there when they said from the studio that brought you The Boys, and then there was a little beat, and it's like, and free 2-day shipping. I thought that was fucking hilarious. And there were a bunch of weirdos out there who were deeply offended, apparently, that Amazon wasn't taking the property seriously enough or whatnot by making this joke. And I was like, dude, have you played Fallout? It's like, that is exactly the kind of humor.
It was exactly.
Yeah.
They did a very good job with some of the game references, like the side quest. There's a really good side quest reference. There's a really good like hoarding items reference.
Yes,
such good. They did such a good job with that.
I'm pretty sure I got encumbered purely off of bottle caps.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Literally carrying around thousands of bottle caps.
The fact that they gave them weight always pissed me off.
Yeah, I hated that too.
So on final thoughts, I guess we'll go to Star Wars for this one. How are you guys feeling on the new Star Wars properties, specifically the Acolyte?
You know, I forgot to watch the trailer of that. It just reminded me.
Okay. The new trailer,
I haven't watched it either.
I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen the teaser trailer to it either.
Sorry,
minor spoiler for the trailer.
That's all right.
Lightsaber whip.
Oh yeah. Oh, that actually I knew about, and that was funny to me because again, you had a bunch of people, and that's what gets me is when there's fandom rage, right?
Oh, I don't listen to Star Wars fandom at all. They're the worst. Literally the worst fandom out of every fandom is the Star Wars fandom.
Oh no, my friend Marvel.
Listen,
no,
they made
Marvel fans.
They ruined. Listen, I've never seen the Marvel fandom ruin 3 people's lives.
Oh no!
Okay,
Jake Lloyd Wright,
yeah,
Hayden Christensen, and Ahmad Best ruined their life. Like Jake Lloyd Wright is like a recovering drug addict criminal because of the horror that fully grown adult men put him through. Yeah,
that's awful.
The Star Wars
the thing, though,
is some of the worst fandoms.
Here's the thing, though. It wasn't because of Marvel fandom not trying.
Oh, I know, but they weren't able to do it.
They just weren't quite. Fortunately, they weren't as successful at ruining people's lives. But some of them. I mean,
they tried with what's her face, the girl that played Aman Khan, and
yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. Yeah, they sent actual freaking like rape and death threats to.
I think that's just par for the course for every woman in every
female character.
Anything always,
and of course. The one who's received the worst of it was definitely Brie Larson, and it amazed me. I remember like getting into conversation with people about this.
Both of those shows and the movie.
I haven't seen the movie yet. I heard. I keep hearing mixed things about the movie. I personally think I'm going to enjoy it too. It looked like
I loved it. I thought it was.
I loved the hell out of the Miss Marvel TV show.
Me too.
I thought that was fantastic. Even though, of course, it did suffer from the usual like kind of hectic ending battle thing that Marvel tends to kind of screw up. But other than that, it was awesome. It was actually one of the best things I'd seen out of them for a while. But my point is the light whip. So you had all these people coming around. It's in all the properties. It's in all the extended Here's Disney fucking up Star Wars again, coming up with their bullshit. Like you
ever read the books?
Fairy tale, like what are they like fan fiction nonsense? And I was like, my dude, Mr. Real Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Are you unaware of the fact that this thing has existed for literally like 20 fucking years or something?
25 years, yeah.
Long before Kathleen Kennedy got anywhere near this property. Exactly. I know you want to blame her for everything.
Yeah.
but this is not something that they just pulled out of their butts.
I've been trying to have a panel at a convention for a long time, and I almost got it at Night Coop. I almost got it at Dragon Con, and it was why George Lucas is the worst thing that happened to Star Wars. And it really, just to summon the neckbeard toxic fandom so that I can yell at them is what it's about. But it's also like a real...
that was their position when the prequels came out, was that George Lucas was the worst thing to ever happen to Star Wars.
They blamed it on everyone but him. That was the thing. Came out? Yeah.
That must have been a pivot that I didn't see. So
yeah, they blamed it on Hayden Christensen. They blamed it on Jake Lloyd Wright. They blamed it on Ewan McGregor. Like I never saw them cursing George Lucas. But anyway, all right. I'm
sorry. So these are the tangents that we like to go on.
It's midnight, so I love all of you awesome nerds. Thank you for hanging out for multiple hours with us, Koala. I know it's like the afternoon for you now, so thank you.
2:00 in the afternoon for me now.
There you go.
Yeah,
and congratulations again to Robin and Daras Sadai, who won the bags, and we'll get messages out to them through the Kickstarter stuff, and we'll see how they're going to get their bags.
Yep, I will do that.
Make sure you take pictures of yourselves using them and post them everywhere.
That's a really good idea, Tom. Because if they're, I know that Darius or Darius
we're giving away the stuff that they give us
will be there, and when we work out if Robin will be really nice if we present them together and do a little bit of a promo that you can put on your channel.
Absolutely, absolutely.
After the con, that'll be really fun.
As long as they want to do it, I'm down.
Yeah.
So you guys, should
oh, go ahead.
You should figure out a way to do like a live stream of you guys playing the game.
Oh, haven't you seen it?
Yeah.
Haven't you seen it?
They did it. They did it last week.
We did on. So Lauren from Unraveling the Pattern, he just said to me, "Can I try and put a sample into an online game so that we could play it live on a live stream?" And I'm like, "Okay." So awesome. We did, and we're actually.
I love Lauren, by the way.
Oh my God, Lauren is just amazing. And we're actually just talking to. I'm going to say it because if we can't pull it together, well, that's just life. To Danny and Brett from Wheel Weaves and Ali and Gus from Wheel Takes, and trying to just put together another little live stream and get them playing it with.
Well, if you need someone else to play, I'm more than willing.
And Tom's willing to play.
I don't know how to play any types of games, so.
Well, if we can't get both, if we can't get both of them in, then we'll need to fill it up a little bit, Tom. So that'd be great. And I really want Scout playing because Scout couldn't be at the live stream because he was away that weekend.
Yeah.
And so I really want Scout playing. So I'll keep you in mind. But now that we've got it built on this site, and I can just give Lauren a spreadsheet with some more cards in it, and he can because he can fill fill the cards from a spreadsheet. Yeah. So so that'll be really fun, and I'm looking at we will do some pre-con couple of games of it on the WhatCon server to some virtual events. But I'll be running them for people who only have a virtual ticket.
Okay.
So that some people who aren't going to be there at the con to sit down and actually play with the cards, that I thought that'd be a nice little perk for virtual ticket holders.
Yeah, that's
to
great.
Be able to have a couple of games. Yeah.
So especially from the EU and Aussie people that can't make it. So I'm sure you might see some familiar faces in the virtual. Yeah. So that'll be fun. So the last thing I want to leave everybody with is a little promo for next week, and that's our guest for next week. And that's going to be Seth from What Spoilers podcast.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. I haven't seen Seth in a while, and I'm excited to see his face.
2 more banger episodes too.
Yes. So real quick again, Sokka's Master and the Painted Lady episodes, two of the greatest episodes in the series.
Okay.
I just love those 2 episodes.
Season 3 is just wall-to-wall bangers.
Bangers. Every episode, banger. And for different reasons too. It's not like it's amazing fighting, and it's absolutely fantastic. Nothing will break your
people
heart.
Sitting around and talking to each other, and it's one of the best episodes to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just a bunch of kids on a beach. Nothing will break your heart like a specific episode from season 2, but some great episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you everybody for hanging out, and especially hanging out until so late. I love all of you awesome nerds, and we will see you next week.
Y'all's the real MVPs.